Vic. How's it going today? Practice. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention to the east end of the stadium. For the balloon and the cheerleaders.
That's it.
Bad time back to use the bathroom.
Yep, I'm right there with
well.
you. There's 2 chairs if we really want to sit down.
There's empty models somewhere. Yeah, but they say it's better because people move in and out. It's better to stand.
We're not going to stand the whole
Niggas. Sit down at halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Burbank, Illinois, into St. Lawrence High School's Kavanaugh Stadium, the home of the Vikings.
You have to turn that on.
Welcome to the magic of Friday Night Football. This evening's game hits the Eagles of Hope Academy versus your St. Lawrence Vikings. Would everyone please rise? And let us pray together. Strong and faithful God, as we come together for this contest, we ask you to bless our student athletes. Keep them safe from injury and harm. Instill in them a respect for one another and reward them for their perseverance. We ask you to bless our coaches, officials, and fans. Instill in them a respect for each other and for the sacrifices they all make in their respective roles. And we ask you to lead us all to the rewards of your kingdom, where you live and reign forever and ever. Amen. St. Laurence, pray for us. Blessed Edmund, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. And now we kindly ask your participation as junior Caitlin Heck sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, smooth but straight and bright?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to direct your attention to midfield. We would like to take a moment to honor St. Lawrence High School football special advisor Frank Lefty on being recognized as the all-time winningest coach in Illinois high school history.
Yeah, if we need help with
Coach
numbers.
Lefty amassed 374 wins over 34 seasons. The ISSA reviewed the record book this summer and determined the previous record holder won some of his games coaching out of state. So they rightfully recognized Coach Lefty as the winningest coach in Illinois history. Coach Ken Leonard of Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin, and who tied Coach Lefty for the most wins last week, has sent a plaque to be presented to Coach Lefty. On behalf of Coach Leonard and all of us here at St. Lawrence, we congratulate you on your tremendous career accomplishments. We are thrilled to have you as part of the Vikings family. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Coach Frank Lefty.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Kavanaugh Stadium here in Burbank, Illinois, as we're ready to see the Hope Academy Eagles face off against our St. Lawrence Vikings. I'm here with Riley Stone.
How's it going, Spangler?
Great. I'm ready to watch some football. I don't know about you.
A lot of the kids are really excited for homecoming week.
Very, homecoming's a big thing in high school, right? Very important.
Yeah. And I feel that this game is another big part of homecoming. They don't just come for the dance, but a lot of the adults that come back come for the game.
Right, yeah. You see a lot of support on these days because, everyone knows that they're coming, right?
Yes, sir.
So Hope Academy is sitting at 3-1 on the year, looking to improve to 4-1, and our Vikings are sitting 500, 2-2, looking to bridge the gap, get over 500, and start the road to state. Vikings will kick off here to start the game, and Hope Academy will receive. Kick is up. Caught at the 4-yard line. Let's see what they could do here. And stopped abruptly at the 20-yard line. And this Viking defense coming out now, we've seen some great things this year out of them, really fighting hard for their offense. And, that's what you like to see out of a football team.
This will be our first introduction to the Hope's offensive side. We haven't seen much of it yet, considering it's the beginning of the game. And, this is important, so we have a good understanding of what comes later.
Right, yeah. First drive of the game always very important. You got to get off to a good start, whether you're on offense or defense. You got to come out, try and win. You got to be ready, more ready than the other team. And here we go, a little wildcat here, and it is dropped. Almost a big gain. Good perseverance again by the St. Lawrence defense. And that's what you're gonna see all year. And looks like a Viking is down.
I have no idea.
And the officials are going to signal a timeout for injury. As, we look to move on for this game.
So the theme for this game actually is white with a little bit of gold.
Right, I looked on the email. It said a hint of gold. Big difference. A hint, maybe a little. We never know. This St. Lawrence student section definitely appreciates. Not appreciates, but they definitely support what we're trying to do here, and they come ready.
Yeah, originally it was going to be all blackout, but then with the sudden change, actually a lot of people still came out and dressed with their white and a little bit of gold.
Right, that's great. A lot of times you'll see schools not really listen to the dress codes. It's always nice to see the Viking fans always coming out ready. As here's second down. Another toss to the right. And that ball is fumbled, and it will be recovered by Hope Academy. Almost the
for St.
turnover
Lawrence.
here. Again, what you're going to see, cutthroat defense by the Vikings, all game long. That's what they do. They fight. They get their offense onto the field to, good field position, trying to win some games.
That fumble almost seemed like Hope Academy is nervous for this game.
Well, it's coming into Kavanaugh Stadium. It's not easy as opposing teams. You see big crowd, loud band. It's intimidating. Plus, the huge team of the Vikings. You see a throw completed at the 20-yard line. Well,
Pass is complete to LaFabian for a short gain.
and here we are, 4th and 10. They barely made it back to the line of scrimmage there. A long throw. Normally, you'd like to see more downfield when you're throwing balls that far, across the hashes. But again, the Vikings are leaving them with, last resort plays here. They're not getting their first or second look. Looking good.
Let's see, what are they going to do?
Vikings are scrambling to find guys to put on the field here. They figure it out right before bold strategy here. 4th and 10. Going for it. Let's see how it pays off. Never mind. We got a fumble. Safety. We got a safety.
And that is the
We've got
that is a
ourselves
safety.
That's great. Loving cutthroat defense. They didn't gain 1 yard that possession. That's what we're gonna see. Getting the offense on. Well, not getting the offense on the field, but fighting hard for their boys.
And we're already a couple minutes in. We've seen 2 fumbles and a safety.
Right, Hope Academy, they might have to dry the ball off. They're a couple little butterfingers going on here. They start figuring it out. Again, coming into Kavanaugh Stadium, it's tough. Difficult to get off to a good start here with the fans always loud, and it can get frustrating being on the road. But these are things you have to adapt to. The Vikings have proven themselves the last couple of years to be able to win on the road, and obviously winning at home, that's our specialty.
It does seem, though, once they do get the ball and they're ready to throw it, they can clearly make some distance with their throws. It was almost caught at the 50 earlier, so we'll see what they have for later in the game.
Right, yeah, what you got to realize is all these teams have great talent. There's always talent, but it's about working hard, getting your playbook down, and being ready to execute on game day. Talent's not going to win you games. You gotta have grit, and that's what the Vikings have had for, ever since Coach Blackman's come over. We've had nothing but hard-working guys. As Hope Academy is going to kick off here to the Vikings. Kick is up. Caught at the 28-yard line. Here, let's see what they could do. That's a good return. Stay up. And he gets all the way to about the 51-yard line. Kendall Spearman. Kendall Spearman, number 2. He's elusive, multi-sport athlete, great student, he works hard, I'll tell you. And, everyone loves him. He's a great kid. He works hard. And you see him right there fighting for that extra 10 yards after contact.
Not only is he a great kid, but we also see he's a great athlete doing a tremendous run from the kickoff.
Right, and here comes the Vikings offense. They got a lot of good pieces, and they're gonna grind. They're gonna grind for every yard. You're not gonna see many. We've already seen some different types of sets from Hope Academy, and I might not see every day. The Vikings offense is always very cut and dry. They get yards. Here's Nate Thomas with the handoff, spins and gets about 2 or 3 yards there. 3 yards. 2nd and 7 here for the Vikings. Nate Thomas, he's reliable. He's always going to get you 3 or 4 yards, and every now and then he'll slip through a hole and he'll give you those big gains.
2nd and 40 at the 45, and they're going for another run, and a big run. Number 28.
Nate Thomas gets us the first down. Sophomore Nate Thomas. He's really stepped up this year. It's tough to fill the shoes of a great player like Toriano Clinton last year graduating, but he's done a great job coming in. We're not leaving any holes out here from last year. There's always a hole that needs to be filled, and this roster is always able to fill them. Here splits a gap, and nice gain here, solid gain.
Nate Thomas picks up 4 yards.
It seems like Laurence has found their sweet spot, and they continue to keep going for runs by, of course, our sophomore Nate Thomas.
Right, Vikings like to chip away yards with Nate Thomas, and you see he's not the kind of runner to run back field and try and make big plays. He gets you your yards when you need them, As we see sleep play number 9, sweet play, not gonna work out there for the Vikings, but that's why they give you 4 downs. You got to take advantage where you can.
And that is our first example of Hope Academy's defense. It seems pretty strong from what we're seeing, although it might be hard to get past Nate Thomas.
It's tough tackling that guy. I've tried it, on the playground sometimes. It's tough, every team's going to have some guys up front on defense that can, really make an impact on your guys. But that's why the O-line's there. They keep their guys safe and try and give some pocket protection for Darius Wilson. As we see a sack here.
Seems like they're quite a couple yards away from their next first down. We're just wondering what they're going to plan on doing next.
And Vikings are going to kick it away here. 4th and about a country mile here for the Vikings here. Midfield, they're just gonna play the field position game. They're not gonna do anything what we would consider rash, and they don't get caught up in the heat in the moment. They're gonna play their cards. We've already got 2 points on the board. Why risk it, right?
And here we go, and
punt the ball away. Short kick, very short kick. Bit of a throw there. Ball is down at around the 24-yard line.
The 28-yard line of
Hope Academy, again, the Vikings, although the rush, or the drive was not that successful for the Vikings. They got it upfield a little bit, making this next drive here for Hope Academy tough. We don't want to give them the ball at our 20-yard line, our 30-yard line. We're giving it to them at their 24.
We're saying that St. Laurence is pretty confident right now, but it is only 2-0, and anything can happen as we see a run by Hope Academy.
They're going to pick up about 3 or 4 yards, number 1.
Fabian.
Run by number 1 here for Hope Academy. A couple yards, not too much here, but again, they're going to make you fight for your yards, this Viking defense will. They're not going to give you any easy plays, as looks like a run to the left here. Actually, no, they're going to sweep it to the right, and Vikings are there to shut it down at the line of scrimmage. Number 1 again, taken down by Kendall Spearman. Again, another example of his hard work out there.
We've seen great examples of St. Laurence running, and right now we're seeing that Hope Academy can do just as good. They've made 2 runs with Fabian. Seems like he's a pretty good athlete.
Well, it's a common theme here at St. Laurence. You're going to get grit, you're going to get hustle, you're going to get hard-working guys. We'll get talented players every now and then, as it's a incomplete pass here, tipped away about at the line of scrimmage. I did not quite see who tipped it, but, again, making you fight for your yards, this Viking defense. Working really hard, getting their guys back on the field to try and score some points. But, again, at St. Laurence, you're going to get a lot of hard-working guys. These coaches push hard work, perseverance, and you might only come out to see the games on Friday nights, or what have you, for different sports, but 99% of being an athlete is down in the trenches when no one's looking, in the weight room or on the track in the off season. That's what makes winners win. As we got a punt here from Hope Academy, and it's picked up back by them at their 40-yard line.
Going back to what you said, Spangler, a lot of these athletes, when you come to the game, you think, oh, it's all about the games. But no, a lot of it is practice. A lot of it is hard work. I have personally not been on a football team. Spangler has gone to a practice before, and I'm sure he could tell you it's very difficult. Yes, Spangler?
Yeah, football's a hard sport. I'll tell you. More of a baseball and basketball guy myself. I try and stay away from the grind of football. I don't think I'm quite ready for that. As we got a completion to Miles Scott with the completion from Darius Wilson.
Beautiful.
A little bit of a slant route. Went a little upfield, and again, it's the elusiveness that these wideouts have for the Vikings. We got a lot of length. We got a lot of speed, a lot of length and speed with Justin Kimber and Miles Scott. As we got a handoff here to Nate Thomas, and he's gonna fight. He's gonna absolutely fight out about 8 yards. We're close to another first down. We're second and a few yards here. Second and 1 here. It's a 9-yard run, and I'll tell you, he was getting first down. Actually, they're moving the chains, and Nate Thomas, he was what most people would consider down about 2 yards into that run, but he was about on his backside, fighting back for those yards. As you see him again here, fighting, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage at least. He's going to lose a yard or two here.
We're incredibly close to the touchdown zone right now. We're
in the red zone. We're not quite at goal, but we're close, and we got to see what our red zone offense is looking like here. We could see a run to the left, looking wide open. And they're gonna shoot it up the gut here with Nate Thomas, and he's gonna fight again.
Thomas down inside the 5-yard line.
And he's inside the 5, so we get to see a little bit of this goal line offense from the Vikings.
This is the part of game where both teams are really going at it. When it's this close, the defense really has to step up, but at the same time, the offense has to make those plays in order to make it. Otherwise, it's going to be a turnover.
That's a great point, Riley. We got a lead blocker here for Nate Thomas. Let's see what we do. We're going to run it up the chute again. Oh, nope. Darius Wilson kept it for himself, lost the ball, and looking for a result here. Did the Vikings jump on it in time, or is Hope Academy going the other way? Looks like it was a clean tackle, so we're going again, 4th and 2. And
like we're saying, the pressure is very high, so things like that can happen, and, you might not know what will happen next.
That's very right. We got to run up the chute again. Nate Thomas fighting for 2 yards. Looks like he will not get it. And, although we got very close to a touchdown, we couldn't really convert there at the end. We're setting Hope Academy up in a very tough position, pinned up at their goal line. They got to go the stretch of the field against this tough Vikings defense. It's hard to do. We're setting ourselves up for success here.
About 5 minutes left in the quarter, and we're going to see what's going to happen next. Around about this point in time, we're getting a good feel for what both teams are capable of. We're still looking a little bit more for Hope Academy's offense, but we have a pretty good feel for both teams.
Right, we're about a little more than halfway through with the first quarter, and now we're getting to see the tempo of the game here. As it's going to be a grinded-out game, both sides. We're probably not gonna see much of the flashy 50-yard passes, but we're gonna see a lot of short routes, a lot of bubble routes, a lot of screens, a lot of runs, especially on the Vikings side of the ball. And Hope Academy is looking to have that same kind of game plan, simple offense. We've seen a couple trick plays with them, but, nothing major, no flea flickers or anything. We got to run it out to the right, very risky play.
Almost.
Nearly picked off by the Vikings. That will be an incomplete pass as he was trying to hit a open receiver at about the 25-yard line, but unsuccessful that time. I don't know if you may have noticed, a couple minutes ago, you see Mr. Muting driving across the track with his bicycle, and that's been a theme here at St. Laurence. You love to see Mr. Muting out there. It's just great to see sometimes. As they got a big run here, they're definitely getting some big yardage here. Number 1 again, he's been their their targeted runner, and number 9, sorry. and
That's going to be
you
a
know,
first
they're
down.
moving the chains a lot. You know, they're cutting up into the field here very quickly. You know, this is not what we like to see for the Vikings. You like to see, you know, we'll live with 3 or 4 yard gains every now and then. Maybe you know, moving the chains with a couple of passes, but plays like that we just can't have happen. A high snap, not fumble.
Let's see who it goes to.
Recovered by Hope Academy, as that was nearly another, you know, turnover for Hope Academy. They really have not been careful with the ball thus far, and that's one of the main things on the football field. As we see Mr. Muting driving back the other way. Love to see that. You know, it's been a staple here this year at St. Lawrence.
Not only Mr. Muting, but we have a lot of
As
great
they
people.
try and get encroachment, and it looks like it's going to work out for Hope Academy.
Like I was saying, many great people come to these games. You know, we have Mr. Spano, Mr. Muting, along with these coaches who have really helped to build this team, build this varsity team. And
Right, we see a lot of great alumni always coming back, and you know most of them work for the school, but even the ones that don't, you know, coming back. Perfect example, Corey De Laurentiis, graduated last year, but he's coming back to watch the Vikings play on homecoming week. As here's another big run here for Hope Academy, and he'll be taken down at about the 38-yard line, I would say.
that was a pretty big
First
run
down.
by Hope. You know,
They're moving the sticks, I'll tell you. Hope Academy is trotting down the field, you know, rushing down, you know, grinding away some yards and trying to take the lead here, as the Vikings still only have those 2 points from that safety. As we're gonna have a throwing deep and yeah, terrible defense by the Vikings. You know, you don't like seeing that. You can't be pushing guys out of bounds. We're gonna have a pass interference call, and you know, maybe unsportsmanlike conduct. We are not sure yet. We'll look at the call on the field.
you know that could have been a tremendous pass for Hope, making, you know, nearly 30 yards with that throw, becoming very close to the touchdown zone. And you know, it's upsetting sometimes when you see those plays for our Vikes, but you know, sometimes these things happen. And
Right, you know, heat of the moment. You know, guys get angry, guys get frustrated. They miss their guy. But again, that's not what Coach Blackman wants to see. As he seems very frustrated physically and emotionally on the sideline, and they're gonna get a first down off of that. And you know, that's not what the Viking mantra is all about. You know, we're all about clean play, working hard for what we can get. As we're gonna have a run up the chute here for Hope Academy. The ball is fumbled, and once again, it is recovered by Hope Academy. As they're getting very lucky at where the ball's bouncing. Because we could have had 3 or 4 different turnovers, you know, going the other way for the Vikings this game already. And we're still, you know, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. You know, they've had some butterfingers this game, and, you know, we got to start stepping up about it.
you know, we've seen plenty of fumbles, and right now St. Lawrence is in the lead, but it's only 2-0. So a single touchdown by Hope can change the game.
And we're going to have a direct snap here, as he's going to run upfield, and he is going to go all the way into the end zone for a Hope Academy Eagles touchdown. Trevor Lamb goes for 6. Touchdown run from the direct snap. You know, Viking. You know, it's a tough play to guard. You know, just a direct snap right into a run. Most teams aren't expecting that, but you know, teams are going to pull stuff out of the bag, and the Vikings have got to be ready for it sometimes.
Sometimes these things happen, and I'm confident that St. Lawrence is aware of this, and they're going to be preparing more and more. I'm sure Coach Blackman will be telling them how to prepare for it next time and how to not make that mistake anymore. And they're going for...
As they're going for 2 here up the chute, and the Vikings are going to stop it right where it started.
Very good attempt, but St. Lawrence defense defended it greatly.
6-2 here, Hope Academy. 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Both teams still have 3 timeouts each. And the Vikings are going to come the other way with the ball, trying to get the lead again, you know. Get some points on the board at least.
For games like these, you know, the crowds are filled. And, you know, with the game being so close right now, especially in the beginning, you don't know what's going to happen. And the crowd gets very intense and very excited, both sides.
Right, and you know, a lot of times, especially this year, the attendance of these games may be up. You know, there's more of a buzz in Chicago about football with the Bears. they look promising this year. I'll tell you, they got a young team. Khalil Mack might be the best player I've ever seen on the defensive end of the ball. You know, I'm a young guy. I haven't seen much of a comparison with that, other than like J.J. Watt and all them. But Bears are looking good, and some football buzz definitely in the air tonight, and a lot of that has to do with the success of the Bears. And it's great to see, NFL success trickling down to, high school football games. It's great to see.
And you never know. Maybe some of these kids playing on the team right now will end up in the NFL.
Tough take there, Riley. That's a hot take. We'll see where that one goes. As the Vikings are gonna grab it at the 35-yard line, they're just gonna be content with their great field position on a bit of a weak kick, I would say. No disrespect intended anywhere, but I'm sure he's kicking himself.
Yes, Spangler were at the first down at 35 roughly, and
Vikings are looking to try and trot down the field here to get 6 or 3. Three's fine with me. We get within 1 point. I mean, as of now, the game is truly going either way. We could consider this a tie game. There's going to be more scores. The Vikings' potent offense as well as Hope Academy, they got some tools in that offense. They've got some guys, some playmakers for sure. And, we just got to see what the Vikings can do on this drive. This is a crucial drive here.
St. Lawrence student section is standing up because they do not want to lose to Hope Academy. And we'll see in this next play what they're doing. Looks like a run. Oh, and
Nate Thomas breaking a tackle. He's going to go to the outside.
Is he going?
And if he could turn this corner. And he nearly
close.
turned the corner to get 6.
Outstanding
That's
run.
a great gain by Nate Thomas, the sophomore.
Hope Academy could not hold him back.
Yeah, I haven't seen a football team able to hold Nate Thomas back. He has been a dominant football player for, I would say, most of his life. Not many people can stop him. He's a short guy, low center of gravity, but he is tough, and he is fast and elusive. As he's going to he should have went to the outside there, but he's going to get tackled down for about a first down. We'll see if they're moving the chains.
More examples of this great guy, It's athletes I see because I'm sure at practice he works so hard, and these games really show the coaches how determined the team is to win games like these.
We're gonna give the ball off to Nate Thomas again, and he looks like he nearly broke that tackle, but again he looks stopped when he's at the line, and he just does not give up. He into a gap and he fights for 4 or 5 yards, and he's gonna get the Vikings a first down here. As again, Nate Thomas, he works incredibly hard, and he's one of the more humble guys I've seen in my life. As he's gonna get stopped here, probably a loss of about 1 or 2 yards here. Second down, and I believe 11 for the Vikings here.
It also takes a lot of trust from the quarterback to send your same guy down, especially with very similar plays. And it seems like this team has pretty good chemistry.
Right, a lot of this offense is sophomores, including our quarterback Darius Wilson and our running back Nate Thomas. They got great chemistry. I believe they're in class together every day. Darius, nearly. That ball's nearly took into the end zone for 6. You saw Sumo, as we call him, Darius Wilson. He definitely could have ran that ball for a couple of yards, but he wanted to try and get the Vikes on the board, and you can't complain about that. He's trying to get his guys to win the game.
Like we said, team chemistry is very high, and I felt like Darius understood that his teammate could have caught that, but sometimes mistakes happen, like we've been saying.
Right, there's a lot of trust going around in this Viking locker room every day, and these guys truly love each other. It's a special place on this Viking football team. We got a blitz here, pocket protection and this ball is just going to be a little bit long, but there is a flag on the field, multiple flags on the field, out in the secondary. Those are the plays that just, you got to love that. That's what football is all about. Blitzing, pocket protection. Pocket protection on a blitz, and then, they go deep and just nearly missed, as it's going to be about 3rd and inches. Unless they're moving the chains, they're going to give us a first down here for the Vikings.
sometimes these plays come out of nowhere, and sometimes,
Incorrect. I guess the Vikings are not going to have the automatic first down. They're going to have to fight for about a yard here, about a yard or two. You don't want to get caught up on the line.
We're going to see how well Hope Academy defends from what I could assume Nate Thomas at this point.
Well, I mean, yeah, this game, he's looking like the premier weapon here for the Vikings.
There he is.
As they're going to stop him. Sure. Oh, he turns around and he keeps going.
Mind.
I'll tell you what. He's a special player. I'll tell you what. I've played many games of Madden in my life. I have never seen a move like that by Nate Thomas. He was down. He had 3 or 4 guys on top of him. He spins around and goes the other way. Although he did not gain too many yards, it's the fight that counts,
That shows the determination that St. Laurence has. This team does not want to lose, especially on their own home field and on homecoming day,
Right, you got to give a show for the homecoming fans coming out here and supporting you in probably the most important week of high school football, except for the playoffs, as we have McCarthy kicks up the field goal, and we are within 1 point of Hope Academy. It is 6-5 Hope.
Extremely close game with only 18 seconds on the clock, 5-6.
And the first quarter has about 18 seconds left to go, but just throughout this first quarter, there's definitely been a tempo set by the Vikings. They're gonna grind out their yards, and if on the ground, they're gonna go to Nate Thomas, and once Hope starts picking that up, they're not scared to throw the ball deep. They have Justin Kimber, they've got Miles Scott on the wide outs. They're not scared to go deep. It's just a matter of picking their times to do so.
Sometimes the score doesn't always represent the skill on the field, and right now I'd say they're pretty even, but I feel like it's up to you guys to decide, who do you think is better?
Yeah, obviously I'm a bit of a biased opinion. I think the St. Lawrence Vikings are one of the more talented football teams I've seen in a very long time at the high school level. But also, it's the work ethic, again, that Mr. Coach Blackman instills every day in the locker room before games, before practice. These guys are told they need to work for their time. And the guys on the field right now, they're the hardest working guys out there. I've never met guys that want to just sit down and, not sit down, lay down, put their head down, and just grind away at themselves. As we have a kick here, kicking it off, and it'll be
Almost
tap.
Caught. Very nearly.
And it'll be dropped at the 1 yard line, but then turned into a touchback on the deflection into the back of the end zone.
Both teams are getting into their positions, and we're preparing for the next play by Hope Academy.
Right, you'd like to see a little bit more, a sense of urgency by the teams to get back to the line. But football's a tough sport. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna want to take as many breaks as you can in between each play. But you'd like to see it as a fan, of course, to just see action.
Some great work by Hope Academy.
Ball be handed off. He'll keep it.
And
he's going. He is going all the way up to about the 43-yard line, as that is a big gain to start their drive for Hope Academy.
Going back to what you're saying, Spangler, a lot of these kids out here are really trying their hardest, and sometimes when you give it 100%, you can get tired very easily. And great thing about football is there are plenty of breaks, but you can still get really worn out there.
Right, they say an NFL game has about 3 minutes of actual football action every game, but I'll tell you, that 3 minutes is some of the most intense time you'll ever see on a sporting field.
Indeed.
As the second quarter is getting ready to go underway here, and Riley, I'd like to get your opinion on the sports at St. Lawrence. You were a soccer player, and I
am.
You're in the drama club.
I am.
What are your opinions on how hard we work every day to succeed?
Seen through soccer, we work every single day except for the weekends. We all need breaks sometimes, but we try our hardest, and it's always our coach's determination that also helps to determine us. And right now we're going for Catholic League champs, but What about baseball, Spengler? You're a big part of the baseball team and basketball.
You know what? I would say, being a baseball and a basketball player, it's a lot of work. Baseball, we get up at 6 a.m. every day and work out, and then after school, we're not done that. We go out to the field and we practice. And here we got a incomplete pass. That ball would have been about a 38-yard gain if my math is correct, which it nearly never is. But yeah, getting back to my point, playing baseball here, it's a commitment, and you have to be ready to grind out time, much like football. But that's the culture here at St. Laurence. Hard work pays off. If you don't want to work hard, you should probably go to a public school or Brother Rice.
St. Lawrence makes sure that you get your money's worth, and Hope Academy with another run.
Yep,
Take it
and
down.
again, quarterback's going to run it, and Trevor Lamb is not gonna move the sticks. He's gonna get him about halfway up to the first down they so desperately want right now.
St. Lawrence's defense against Hope Academy's offense.
Yep, we'll see what this play develops into, as a little confusion on what the play is.
Taking their time, but
Hope Academy is gonna snap the ball eventually. We hope. Here it is, and they're gonna fake the handoff again, and he's gonna move the sticks here. He's gonna get a first down, gain of about 7 yards.
That was number 9, Trevor Land.
He's been picking up a lot of yards. He had the touchdown earlier for Hope Academy, and they've been going to him a lot on the ground. Not often you see the quarterback running more than he is passing. More of a Johnny Manziel kind of guy. And, we got to see how it works out for him.
So, Spengler, I'd like to get your opinion on, what you want to see later. I'm hoping to see a couple more passes because, Nate Thomas and Hope Academy's guys are pretty. Oh, wait.
We got a completion here for first down for Hope Academy. They're going to move the sticks, about a 13-yard pass.
Just about to say, I'd love to see a couple more passes, but right there we see Hope Academy with a pretty big pass. Snap from Hope Academy, and they're running again. And, he almost trips. And he's taken out.
Again, they're going to Trevor Lamb, and they're not scared to show it on the ground. They are trying to grind out yards with their quarterback. And it's been working out. They've been marching down the field, moving the sticks. And they're just about in the red zone here. And Vikings seem to not have much of an answer, but, I'd say by the second half, we're going to, maybe even next drive, we're going to figure out their offense. As another gain here, about 4 or 5 yards.
Still an incredibly close game, being Vikings with 5 points and Hope with 6. And, it's starting to seem like Hope might score another touchdown considering how close they are. But, we never could tell because St. Lawrence can come back with that determination and that work ethic.
Right, the Vikings are going to put up a stand here in the red zone as we got a fake throw, and he's going to take the ball down into his chest, and he's going to run it. He's going to fight up for about another gain of around 3 or 4 yards.
No matter what happens, you always got to keep going, and that was a great play that showed that. He was almost down, and he just tried to stay up for as long as possible, and we'll see another play by Hope Academy.
Yep, here we go. And Hope Academy, again, marching down the field. I got a feeling we're going to see a fake handoff, and the quarterback's going to run around to the right and try and get into the end zone. That's my Tony Romo prediction here. Let's see how it plays out. And he's gonna run to the left, and he's gonna get stopped on the line. Great defense by the Vikings, not allowing extra yards when it's not necessary.
Sometimes, we need to make predictions like that so we can get a feel for how predictable it is on the field.
It's always fun to try and guess stuff. It's like going to Vegas. Get a little bit of an endorphin rush, guessing something. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but it's just the beauty of the beast.
I don't know.
first down. Hope Academy moving the chains again. They're going to be on the goal line here, first and goal. We're going to see a tough goal line stand here for the Vikings. At least they're going to work as hard as they can to keep Hope Academy out of the end zone and keep this game within 4 points if they can. Maybe even 1 if they miss a field goal. They're going to draw it again. They're going to drop it again, Neil Campbell. And it's not going to work out for them. They're going to get about 1 or 2 lambs. Sorry, Trevor Lamb. My fault. I apologize. Trevor Lamb. I should know they're going to him, huh? Heard that name a bit too much today. He's been a focal point of this Hope Academy offense. And, we got to find a way to stop him. He's been our biggest problem. Much like Hope Academy's problem with Nate Thomas today. As we're going to see nearly a sack. And that ball is going to be picked off in the end zone by the Vikings. And we're just gonna contend with a 5-yard gain here.
That was very intense. That was almost another 6 points for Hope Academy, but that was intercepted by our home team, the Vikings.
We have great football player showing his worth on the football field. Again, another one of these sophomore kids. We got a lot of sophomores on this team, a lot of sophomore talent, athletic guys, fast guys, and, they work hard for their playing time, trying to fight playing time over the upperclassmen, and they've been doing great for this Viking team so far this season. As we're going to see how the Vikings line up. I'm going to say a handoff here. Keep it safe. Don't want to see a safety. So that's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see a gain of about 2 or 3 yards here by Nate Thomas.
Sometimes we need a couple of those yards, to make it onto your next first down. But sometimes some other plays might be a little bit more effective.
Right, especially on the high school level. You never want to be snapping the ball to your quarterback when he's in the end zone. You don't want to see safeties, and the Vikings are showing that here. They want to move the ball up a little bit, give their quarterback a little bit of comfort in the pocket.
7.5 minutes left in the quarter.
7.5 minutes left in the half, Riley, I would like to add. Also, it's second quarter here, as the Vikings are going to look to march down the field here. And we see a snap here to Darius Wilson. He's going to throw the ball. Well, he's going to spin. He's going to hold it, and he's going to take a loss here. Staying out of the end zone, landing at about the 1.5, 2-yard line there.
And that could have been our second safety of the game. But luckily, Darius is a very, very great player who can handle those types of situations and, keep the ball forward, even when being...
I'll tell you what, Sumo, as we call him, he was very close to letting that ball fly downfield. And with the blitz coming, there were a few guys open downfield that we could have hit for some big yards. But Hope Academy is really putting up a stand on the D-line, not making it easy for Darius. As we're going to see a low snap fumbled down into the end zone. He's going to get rid of the ball, and he's just going to throw it out of bounds here. As we see a penalty in the backfield, let's see what's going on. Maybe a little bit of holding going on. Attention to all grade students and grade school students and family. The best way for a student to experience St. Laurence firsthand is to attend a Viking Visit Day. Some upcoming dates to visit are the Columbus Day holidays on October 5th, which will have boys basketball and girls softball clinics immediately following, and October 8th, which will have a boys baseball and girls basketball clinics at the end of the day as well. To register for one of these days or any school day of the year, please contact Ms. Tegan Walsh or Mr. Joe Spano in the admissions office or visit our website at www.stlawrence.com.
Okay.
As Darius is going to come up and he's going to get stopped. That ball's fumbled away. Incomplete pass. They're going to rule it. And that was a risky little play there by the Vikings on the throw. They came in hot. Hope Academy's coming in hot. And Darius Wilson shouldn't be in the kitchen if he's not ready to handle the heat. And that time it was nearly a strip sack fumble. But luckily enough for us, the refs ruled it a incomplete pass.
That was a very hard impact. And, we want to avoid injuries as much as possible because we take them very seriously.
Right, Darius Wilson, he's a great quarterback. We hate to lose him. But sitting on the bench, we have A.J. Wren, another sophomore. Great player, great kid. I've known him a couple years now. Play baseball with him. Used to. I don't think he's playing this year anymore. But, yeah, he works hard. He's right up there with Darius. These two guys are interchangeable. You're not going to lose too much with Darius coming out of the game. And that's how most positions are here for the Vikings. There's always someone ready to plug a hole when needed.
A lot of these kids attempt to take on 2 sports throughout the year, so they're working the entire year. So not once during that year are they not working their hardest to try to be the highest on their team, and we see that through a lot of the sophomores here because varsity is a very highly
Also, St. Lawrence will be hosting 2 open houses this fall on Sunday, October 14th and Sunday, November 4th, between the hours of 10 a.m. and noon. This is a great opportunity for families to meet our outstanding faculty, staff, and coaches, as well as learn about our unique STL STEM curriculum and see our beautiful campus. Please visit our website to register for an open house or to find more specific information about St. Lawrence High School, the place where leadership begins.
Indeed, we're seeing a lot of leadership out here on the field, especially Nate Thomas. I can't get over that kid. He's doing tremendous on the field. Plenty of runs, plenty of yards.
Well, Riley, he's a great football player, but I don't know if we need to go that far there. He is a great guy. He's a great football player, and I think that's what we should know him as. Riley, what do you think about the STEM curriculum here at St. Lawrence?
I think it's a unique choice on the way that we value and use our our curriculum, and it definitely changes the way that we grade stuff, but I feel like it's pretty
I'm going to
useful
have to interrupt you as the Vikings are kicking the ball off, putting it away, and that ball's going to sail almost nearly into the stands here as I'll tell you what, it is a windy one out here tonight. And we have another player down. Again, I'd like to get back to you with the STEM curriculum here at St. Lawrence. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? What do you think we should change? I personally, I love it. I think it's important in the workforce to know how to work in a team, and there's no place better than St. Lawrence High School to truly learn how to be a leader and work in a team. People like Mr. Dan Turney and Mr. Clemens do a great job enforcing that every day in everything we do.
Yes, definitely the STEM part of our curriculum is a big part of the overall academics, and it takes a large part of our grade, and we take it very seriously because it will really, I feel, help us in the future because right now, while a lot of the work may be independent, in the near future, we won't be just working by ourselves, but with multiple other people.
All right, little bit of a game update here. We have 6 minutes and 6 seconds left in the first half of Viking football action. Both teams still have all of their timeouts. It is 6-5 Hope Academy. And play is looking like it's getting ready to resume. First and 10 for Hope Academy at the 38-yard line for the Vikings. Again, we might be pinned up in bad field position here, but again, we're gonna fight. As you saw, they were on the goal line, and we picked a pass off, and we tried to go down the field. Didn't quite work for us, but it's about getting your offense on the field, staying out of harm's way, really, for the defense.
And we're preparing for the snap.
Yep, Hope Academy's ready to snap the ball off. I wonder who's going to be picking up some yards here, or attempting to. As we're going to have a handoff up the chute again. Good for about 2 yards. 2nd and 8 here for the Eagles. 2-yard run by a Hope Academy player. Dante Reed with the tackle. Here comes another snap for the Hope Academy as we're going to have a draw. He's going to be running the ball. And they're going to move the chains here.
The St. Lawrence crowd is getting very excited, but I feel like they're getting a little worried right now. Hope Academy is really coming out strong right now, and St. Lawrence is really going to have to step up their game later in the match.
Right, I feel like everyone around St. Lawrence is getting weak in the knees right now, right? Like getting a little weak in the knees, but I have confidence. I have full confidence in this defense and offense and special teams units that we can truly win this game decisively. As we're gonna have a big stop here on a run, not going anywhere on that Viking D line. Burnsy getting the tackle. Sean Burns, big man. You know, he's a big, integral part of this Viking defense, and it's great to see the big boys getting to eat sometimes. Just got to let the big dogs eat every now and then.
Very true.
We got motion. He's going to step back. He's going to throw. Good pocket protection, and that ball is incomplete. Overshot or undershot. He had two options there, and he, I'll tell you what, he shot it right in the middle of those two wide-open receivers. Luckily enough for the Vikings, neither of them could get hands on it.
You hate to see that happen, but as a Viking, you know, that makes me pretty proud.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about you. I love to see that happen. I don't know what's going through your head. That's the type of stuff we like to see.
I'm attempting to be as unbiased as possible because both teams have worked very hard to get here, but, you know, it is our homecoming.
Unbiased, schmiased, Riley. Let's go. It's homecoming week.
All right,
we
got
a forward pass. That ball is going to be incomplete as well. Overshot his receiver once again. They're going to have 3rd down and 10, I believe, for Hope Academy. 4th down and 10, I apologize. I must have fallen asleep behind the wheel. Do not recommend that one. Eagles are going to go for it. You know, it's plays like this that really make you, you know, this is an exciting play. This is a big, integral play of this football game, although it's early. You know, if they can convert here, that's a huge momentum boost. As a little confusion on what the play is. Looking over the sideline here. You know, they still have all 3 of their timeouts. Here's the snap. They're going to run it right away, and he's going to be stopped at about 1 or 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Great defense by the Vikings.
And that is a turnover for the Vikings. 1st down around the 30-yard line. Yep.
Turnover on downs for the Hope Academy, I'm sorry. And the Vikings are going to take it, pinned back just behind their 30-yard line, and get about 75 yards to make up. But if I'll tell you what, if there's an offense that could do this swiftly before the end of the half, it is the Vikings offense. With about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, they're looking to make a push for the end zone.
See how they're going to get these yards through. And
here's the snap. They're going to draw it with Wilson. He's going to run it. He's going to run it to the end zone. Or not the end zone. Sorry, to the sideline. That's not the end zone, Thomas. He's going to run it to the sideline, and he's going to gain about 5 yards.
Still major yards.
Brought down by Reggie Young of Hope Academy. Never heard of the guy before. I'm sure he's a great football player, even a better student.
Sometimes you don't get to, you know, meet a lot of these guys personally, but as we see, another run by Nate Thomas.
Nate Thomas is going to turn the corner, and he's going to get.
He pushes through.
He's going to get about.
Ruthless.
Nate Thomas just pushes his way down the field, fighting for the Vikings. You know, I never want to say this about any team, you know, for the Vikings, but he's putting this team on his back to get some yards and, you know, try and get into that end zone. We haven't punched through it yet, but we're definitely looking for it.
We're back at another 1st down for the Vikings, and, you know, they're just going to keep on trying to get yards over to the touchdown zone.
The Vikings are now in enemy territory. Let's see what Darius Wilson can do here. He's going to hand the ball off to Nate Thomas. He's going to struggle. He's going to get through. He's got a gap. Can he get it? He's going to get into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Touchdown, Vikings. It is 11-6 Vikings. And with 4 minutes and 9 seconds left in the 2nd quarter.
The crowd is screaming for that touchdown by Nate Thomas.
It is electric here in Kavanaugh Stadium. Absolutely buzzing.
These are the plays we like to see at our own homecoming game.
You know, let me tell you, it's stuff like this that makes you want to get out of your bed on Friday night after a after-school nap. You know, this is what it's all about here. This is Viking football. You know, a couple of shorter gains, and then you boom through a gap here with Nate Thomas, and you know, getting 6. as Liam McCarthy is going to attempt the extra point to make it 12-6 Vikings. He takes his steps, getting ready for the kick. Riley, you're a soccer player. You know how to kick a ball every now and then.
Indeed,
The
I
kick
do.
is up and good.
And there it is, another point.
And
for
you
St.
hear
Lawrence.
Mr. Kozak saying it loud. Wish I could do that.
Score is Vikings with 12 points versus Hope with 6 with 4 minutes left in the half.
Riley, you know how to kick a ball. What does it take to, confidently kick a ball in the middle of your foot? Sometimes I get nervous. I shank the ball off, the side of my foot. It doesn't go the way I want. What are your tips?
So I'm pretty new to the soccer team, but it takes a lot of practice to go through that. It might seem like kicker is one of the easiest roles on the field, but it might not be, because these guys have to go through a lot to practice and perform that over and over again.
I'll tell you what, it's like shooting a free throw in basketball in a crowded game. Everyone's looking at you. When
Good
you're
analogy.
pushing through the A gap and stuff's moving around you, you don't focus on the crowd. But when you're standing stagnant, waiting for the snap to kick the ball, everyone's relying on you. I bet it's a little nerve-wracking, but someone like Liam McCarthy, he's never phased.
All eyes are on you, but here we're going to another type of kick, a kickoff.
Right, we have a kickoff, indeed, for the Vikings. Liam McCarthy's getting back out to kick. He's got the boot. I'll tell you, he's got the Viking boot. We'll see what he does here. That's a booming kick down into the 15-yard line.
Caught by Hope.
Let's see where they can go with this. If he splits
going
that gap,
through.
he might go. He might go. He stopped down.
Taken
Happily,
down.
he stopped down at the 43-yard line. Still in their territory, but definitely not what the Vikings were looking for on that play.
6 points in between both Hope and Vikings, and plays like that can really change the game, and you never know what Hope's going to come through at this next play. For all we know, they could score a touchdown, but we surely hope not. Hope has the ball, and they're going to be going for a snap.
Let's see if Hope Academy, a.k.a. Trevor Land, can do everything, as we got a flag on the field on the line.
Referee.
And I would like to very special shout out to someone in the stands today, Joey Mack. He's one of my favorite people alive. He's got he's got a great family. The whole family's really involved in the St. Lawrence community, including Matt McCormick, who, maybe one or two of you have heard of him. But thank you. And yeah, he's a great guy. He works hard. He's going to college now, looking to succeed there. As another play here for the Hope Academy. Sorry. 1st and 15. So they got backed up with a penalty on a false start. As here's the snap. They're going to hand it off, and they're going to get some protection, but he's going to be stopped at about the line of scrimmage. They're going to get about 5 yards.
Neil Campbell was taken down. And another shout-out that I'd like to give is, it's not just me and Spangler up here in the booth. There are plenty of adults up here, along with Jason Dormos and Cal Friend, who are really helping us out.
Yeah, they're great. They're letting us know, who's who on the field, because it could be tough to see from up here, and they got the good eyes. 2nd and 11 here for Hope Academy, as they look to push and move the sticks here. As they're going to draw out with the quarterback once again, and he's going to get a first down and a little bit more than that.
Big run. Almost seemed like a fumble, but immediately picked up.
And I don't know if you guys have heard this name before tonight, but Trevor Land getting the first down for Hope Academy. I'll tell you what, they sure do like a little bit of land in their offense.
Very true, Spangler. And Hope with another snap.
And we got another snap here. They're going to hand it off. Trevor Land's not going to be the one hurting us this time, as they get about 8 yards there. It's going to be 2nd and 3. They get 7 yards there. The Vikings defense looking little bit subpar to what they were looking like at the start of the first quarter, but again, they're fight, and I'm sure they're gonna go in at halftime and they're gonna get a stern talking to. We got a Trevor Land getting handed the ball right off, and he's gonna be taken down in the
He was
at the
pushed
line of scrimmage,
back.
right about pulled back 3rd and 6 now, as that's a loss of 3 yards, and the Vikings show right there, shutting me up, telling me saying that they're looking a little lackadaisical. They shut me right up, and they take away 4 yards.
I think they heard you, Spangler, because I don't know if Hope is going to be able to make it to the touchdown zone, and they might end up having a turnover.
Well, I'll tell you what, I guarantee you they do not hear me because I don't have any microphones in their headphones or in their helmets. I'm sorry, not a football guy. As 3rd and 7 here for Hope Academy, they're gonna throw it to the sideline, and he's gonna get taken down by the Vikings, and they're gonna get sent back to the line of scrimmage about 4th and 9, unless they call forward progress. 4th and 7 here for Hope Academy, and it's gonna look very probable the Vikings are gonna take the ball.
And that is our first timeout of the game. That was the Vikings timeout, and I'm sure our coach has a lot to say to the Vikings. Maybe proud, maybe a little bit to help them out with the game.
Riley, with the timeout coming up right now, I'd like to ask you, where did you go to grammar school, and what was your reasons for coming to St. Laurence?
I went to Everest Academy. Not many kids had gone to St. Laurence. My graduating class had only 12 kids, but I felt St. Laurence was a great school for me. Academics are very high above everyone else. It's a private school, so I also get that Catholic side. What about you, Spangler?
I went to Liberty Junior High School here in beautiful Burbank, Illinois. I would consider myself a Burbilly, if you're familiar with the term. It is a Burbank hillbilly, as that's what we're called by the city folks from places like Oak Lawn. And, I wanted to come here because, it's a great atmosphere. I came in through the doors shadowing, and I'll tell you what, I've never felt more at home than at St. Lawrence. And if you're a grammar school parent looking to send your kid to a great school, I would pick nowhere else. As it looks like a completion here. Looks like they're going to be moving the chains here.
Complete pass.
And, well, no, it's going to be just not enough for a first down as the Vikings offense is going to take over here. Again, another great stand by the defense of the St. Lawrence Vikings here, stopping a play, stopping a drive that looked promising at the start, but to no avail, of course, for Hope Academy.
It seemed very close, but sometimes you can be too confident, and then you end up in scenarios like this where St. Lawrence takes the ball back, and seems like they're about to gain some more yards with this next play.
And here's the snap to Darius Wilson. He's going to hand it off here, and he's going to split a gap, and he's going to get a couple yards here, 2 or 3 yards. It is 2nd and 6 here, 4 yards. Lewis Bond, another example of a sophomore stepping up on the varsity level and helping the Vikings win. And, this is no slouch of a Vikings team, so these sophomores truly earn their playing time. It's not just we lack guys. As you see, there's plenty of guys on that sideline sitting on that bench, walking around getting ready. And that pass is incomplete on the sideline, as the intended target was Miles Scott. And
personal foul, roughing the
the passer here on Hope Academy, and that is huge for the Vikings as incomplete pass. You like to see, any net positive you can get as far as yardage goes on every play, every down. You got to look to try and move the ball up the field. And if the other team's going to help you out with it, we'll take it. We're not going to complain one little bit about it.
No, we will not, and that's another first down for the Vikings.
As the Vikings shift into enemy territory here, as they look to trot down into the big old end zone, says Vikings, on the west side of Kavanaugh Stadium. Not good with my directions. I don't use a compass very often. That's what phones are for, because we're millennials. As this ball is handed off to Nate Thomas here. And looks like he's not going to gain too much of yardage here. He's gonna get stopped at about the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2 yards here. 2nd and 12. Looks like Darius Wilson is going to have to step back and make a throw here, unless they, which I'm sure they do. They want to put some trust into Nate Thomas and let him get up at least the line of scrimmage, if not more. Try and get us back into good position for the next down. Let's see what we have here.
Snap and
And Darius Wilson is going to step back and throw,
Very big.
and that ball is incomplete as pass just veered a little bit too much to the left, about 10 yards to the left of his receiver and a little bit short. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 12 for the Vikings on Hope Academy's 49-yard line. And, you know, we got to see what Coach Harold Blackman's going to pull out of the bag here and try and move the chains.
Sometimes you got to wonder how far can these quarterbacks throw, because that was a very large pass, and had that been complete, that would have been major yards for the St. Lawrence Vikings.
Here's the snap. He's going to step back, and that's a screen here. Nate Thomas is going to try and spin. He's going to break a tackle. Can he get to the
He's
sticks?
going-
Just
Oh.
about not enough. Let's see if they're going to go for it on 4th down. I believe they will with 27 seconds left in the half.
Another timeout on the field.
Yep, another timeout on the field. That's going to be another St. Lawrence timeout as they've used 2 of their 3 timeouts here this half. And
Sometimes you got to use them because there's some messages that, you know, that our coaches have to send to the athletes on the field, and you know they gotta make sure that they know what they're doing so that we can get some more points on the board. Very close game right now.
Yep, we're going to have 4th and 2 here for the Vikings as Nate Thomas with a huge play on the screen pass. And most of those yards, you know, he's going to get yards for receiving there, but those are going to go to Darius Wilson. And although Darius did make a great pass on the screen, you got to really look at, you know, the work that Nate Thomas puts in for his quarterback. Because, you know, St. Lawrence, we don't care about stats, but colleges certainly do. And whenever you can help your teammate out, just shows what kind of great teammate and what kind of leader Nate Thomas truly is. As 4th and 2 here for the Vikings with 26.7 seconds left in the half as they are up by 6 points over Hope Academy. Let's see what they pull out the bag here again to try and get into the end zone.
St. Lawrence, where leadership begins. You know, we see them lead in school, and now we're seeing them lead out on the field.
Vikings are lining up here on Hope Academy's 39-yard line with 2 yards to get to move the chains here. As we're going to see a snap and go figure. They're going to hand the ball off to Nate Thomas. He's going to split a seam, and he's going to get to the sideline for the 1st down and a big gain. It's about a 15-yard gain for Nate Thomas there, moving the chains, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. That's huge. Saves the Vikings a timeout, lets us play a little bit more at the time on the clock.
Hoping to get a couple more points right before the half ends to really show Hope where the St. Lawrence Vikings stand.
And that run itself is huge for the specific reason that Liam McCarthy and his big boot has the ability, I would say, from this distance to kick it through the uprights. So we're going to look to get some points any way we can here to try and make it a 2-possession game here for the Vikings.
They're going to try to send the ball up as quick as possible so we can get a couple more yards, get a little bit closer to the field goal, or maybe even go for a touchdown.
Right, and if there's going to be a run or a passing play here, I would say it's going to be towards the sidelines because, again, you want to stop that clock, save that last timeout for when you're getting ready to kick 3.
You really
Not
think
kick
so? Well,
6.
I guess we'll see which side it goes down. Maybe down the middle.
Right, maybe. I mean, that would be a gutsy play call, you know. But you know, the Vikings are known for pulling stuff out the bag that's not expected. As we're going to have a
And
pass.
you're right.
See if he can get it. That ball is just nearly going to be incomplete. As
Very close. 16 seconds left.
Justin Adams, number 7 on the Eagles, you know, making that play tough to complete for Darius Wilson. You know, he got in front of his man, and he really didn't leave any space between his man and the end zone. So we're going to see a throw, hard throw, incomplete, just a little bit low and to the left from Darius Wilson.
Seem to be going to number 84.
Number 84, Justin Kimber, another sophomore on this team. And again, you know, you're going to see a big sophomore presence in this second half as you already have in the first half. As you see, you love to see that A.J. Wren getting excited for his boys on the sideline. You know, holding up his arms, you know, exciting his guys to try and work hard for this touchdown.
13 seconds. Let's see what they can do with this time.
As the ball snapped to Darius Wilson, this crowd is going crazy as he's going to run the ball out.
Running.
And he's going to go out of bounds like a smart player would. And he gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 6 seconds left. And the Vikings still have a timeout, as they could try and go for another play before their field goal, or they could play it safe and just get 3 now. First down Vikings moving the sticks here as they're up by 6 with 6.1 seconds left.
This very well could be the last play of the half, so all tensions are very high, and we're hoping to see some incredible performances right here.
I got a feeling we're going to see a toss to the right, and Nate Thomas is going to try and hit that pylon over on the far side of the field, as I am completely incorrect on my prediction. We got to throw to the back of the end zone, incomplete,
So close.
and it looks like we're going to send out Liam McCarthy to try and kick 3 up through the uprights to try and come through into the second half with a 2-possession lead, as well as getting the ball to start, as we deferred at the start of the game. Let's not forget.
2 seconds left on the clock.
1.9 to be exact, Riley. As a great point there, 2 seconds left. But it's not about the seconds here, because we're kicking. We're conceding the end of the half here. Let's see if Liam McCarthy can step up here and kick his third one up through the uprights of the day, as he had a point after, a field goal on the other side of the field, as well as this upcoming kick, as we're going to have a timeout. Timeout for Hope Academy, as they're going to try and ice the kicker here, I believe. Hope Academy. Thank you, Mr. Kozak. Timeout, Hope Academy, as you see again. That is that Mr. Muting on the bike?
It is.
It is Mr. Muting on the bike.
We love to see him out here.
He's great. He shows a lot of school spirit. Any day, the next day there's going to be a theme. He's rocking that theme in the hallway at the end of the day.
Very true.
Making people in the hallways excited for the next day of school. I've never come to St. Lawrence and thought, I just don't want to come to school today, I've always been in a great mood, and I just want to impress people, prove people wrong always.
No matter how bad or how good you're doing, Mr. Muting will always make your day better. It's a
Right,
great
there's
principle.
people in those hallways that just put a smile on your face. Like Dean Shaw, who's a great man, very, very polite man. Mr. Gacious, shout out to Mr. Gacious. He's a great guy. We got, of course, Mr. Muting. And President Martinez, Mr. Martinez, one of the most stand-up guys I have ever met in my life. He wants us to succeed here at St. Lawrence, and he'll do nothing else but want us to win. As we got Liam McCarthy kicking the ball up, no good. As the Vikings will end the half with a 12-6 lead over Hope Academy, as they're going to get the ball here to start the second half. Now, Riley, first half impressions. What do you see from Hope Academy that you weren't expecting coming into the game?
I was just about to ask you, Spangler. I feel like both teams have a very strong presence, but I feel like St. Lawrence has a great offense while also being able to defend just as well. Hope Academy, I feel like they've been fumbling a lot of the ball earlier in the match, but now they seem to regain that composure and really take advantage of it. Hope their defense is pretty good, but St. Lawrence's offense might be able to, beat them just a little bit better,
And as we've seen this first half, a big part of the Hope Academy offense has been Trevor Land. He's really stepped up big time for the Eagles, and he's gotten them those 6 points on the board, and he's doing everything he can for his boys. All right, I am going to pass the mic off for our halftime announcer, Calvin Friend, as it's time for a potty break.
All right. I will also be giving up my position to Jason wherever he is. For right now, I will stick with Cal Friend. All 4 of us are in the same class, and, we have a lot of the same teachers.
Well, here are the Golden Girls, the pride and joy of St. Lawrence. They're here every single game cheering us on from the sideline. Always there.
We're going to allow you guys to watch this performance that I'm sure they have practiced for plenty of times.
Great show by our Golden Girls.
Next to take the field, under the red flankers, here's the St. Lawrence High School dance team.
Now here's the St. Lawrence High School dance team. They've really made a lot of progress within the 2 years that they've been here at St. Lawrence. It's good to see them come out and perform. Congratulations to the dance team on a great performance, as always. And right now, I'd like to give a shout out to the St. Lawrence High School band. You know, they're always here, showing their spirit, whether it be at a mass or at a pep rally or a football game. They're always present. They're always doing a great job playing the fight song. Thank you to every one of our viewers for keeping with us. We have about 4 minutes left in halftime. Thanks for waiting it out. Little update on Chicago sports. the White Sox have beat the Cubs 10-4 today. So good for us Southsiders, not for the Northsiders.
If you didn't get the final from the Guaranteed Rate Field Crosstown Classic, the final score on the south side, the Pale Hose 10, the Cubbies 4. White Sox win 10-4.
A lot of cheers here in the stands for the White Sox taking the win against the Cubs. This is Sox territory here in Burbank. Anyone that tells you different just doesn't live here.
Let me hop on the mic for a bit.
Pretty sure Gase just didn't pick you.
Actually, Gage just asked me before he asked any of you guys.
No, he asked me first because I was in
No, he asked me the day before. Maybe 5
What did you
days
say?
ago. Oh, he asked Kip, and I told him, yeah, I would be supposed to do that. Brother.
We have the two teams warming up for the second half here. Vikings on the west side of the field doing some high knees, and Hope Academy on the right side doing some glute exercises. Hope Academy's kicker is working on his kicks, and I would say from the first half showing, the Vikings have to be excited. The crowd, homecoming week, always great to get a win in homecoming, and looking like shoe's gonna fall that way. But there's no such thing as a win until the clock hits 0 the fourth quarter, and sometimes there's overtime. So who knows?
Like to say, it ain't over till it's over. So we got to be in it every last second till it ends.
Yep, it is not over. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and I don't see a fat lady. So let's play some football.
Congratulations on the 50-year reunion for the class of 1968. Congratulations, guys. They'll continue the celebration tomorrow at the Mayor's Mansion, European Chalet in Chicago, and they'll finish it up here on Sunday morning with mass and brunch and a tour of the school on Sunday morning. So great to see all you guys back. And Hokie strangers, come on back anytime. You're always welcome here at the home of the Vikings.
And next Friday, September 28th, the St. Lawrence Vikings will be playing at Fenwick at 7:30 p.m. Be sure to come out on the road games and show your Vikings some support. And I would like to shout out everybody watching this fine broadcast of Vikings football. We love seeing support. Sometimes you can't make it out to the game, or if you live in Huntsville, Alabama, and you're watching, we love that too. And it's great to see you on the broadcast. And we hope everything is well with all of you, and that you're supporting your Vikings from home or work or wherever you happen to be today. Thank you.
Here we are, Vikings up 12-6, about to start another half of Viking football. Starting another.
Vikings here getting ready to receive a kick at the start of the third quarter of today, September 21st, 2018, game against Hope Academy and the Eagles. Stepping in for Riley Stone is my good friend Calvin Friend. He's going to be here until Riley gets back from the what I presume to be the porta potty. As the Vikings are going to get the ball at about the 35-yard line, they're going to be stopped right there by Hope Academy's special teams unit. First and 10 here for the Vikings. Let's see what this offense can bring, in the second half here. I'm sure Coach Blackman had a long talk about them, about their offensive schemes. As, there's been some things, ups and downs with this offense. There's been a lot of great runs by Nate Thomas, but at the same time, many incomplete passes or, sometimes Nate Thomas could cut outside or cut inside and get some more space. But just, minor things. We're still up and, just maintenance. Let's see what we could bring out here. We're on the left hashes, and here's the snap. Darius Wilson, we're going to hand it off to Nate Thomas. And he's going to be stopped at for a loss of about 1 yard. Loss of 2 yards. It is 2nd and 12 for the Vikings here.
Now, Thomas isn't going to let that loss of 2 yards affect him. He's going to keep going as he's taught to do.
Right, Nate Thomas, he's a tough competitor. You never see him with a frown on his face. He's always, ready for the next play. If anything, failure, as a common theme here at St. Lawrence, failure is, sometimes the best option because you learn more from that than winning. Low snap here, recovered by Wilson, and he's going to throw it up. Nate Thomas is going to get it, and we're going to be moving up the field a little bit, gain of about 4 or 5 yards. And we'll be at 3rd and 5. I would say 3rd and 5. We're not going to risk it downfield. We're going to try and get Nate Thomas to hit a gap and, see what he can do. Low snap, and Wilson's going to be sacked here. Not what we like to see for the Vikings, as the snaps have been a little bit chaotic coming into the second half here. We gotta settle down here, snapping the ball. But there some stuff just happens during the course of a football game, and gotta learn to adapt to it. As we're gonna have 4th down and 12. And we're going to kick the ball away here. We play the field position game. We're not going to be too risky, not going to be stupid. We're up by 6. Why risk it? As the Vikings get set to kick the ball away, Hope Academy has one man downfield to receive the kick, and it's going to be short. And they don't quite know where the ball is, so the Vikings have a chance to let the ball drop as far back as possible, and they're going to be plotted at the 45-yard line. the Vikings, although nearly, set up Hope Academy in their own territory, which is it's always a benchmark of success. You know, not letting the other team start in enemy territory. You gotta pin them back in there where they belong. You know, behind your 50. You gotta protect your 50-yard line, and if you can't do that, protect your red zone. Hope Academy gets ready to snap the ball here as the Viking defense looks to shut it down again as consistently they've been stopping Hope Academy all game. You know, there's been some problems with some QB draws as we got to run up the middle. Stopped by the Vikings D-line. And looks like nearly that was taken to the house by the Vikings, but they're going to say that the ball was down at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 2nd and 9 here for Hope Academy as a late whistle prevents the Vikings from taking home 6.
And, you know, if that's something that the Vikes can keep up, you know, just pushing them back, that'd be something that'd be great to see the entire game. Good defense.
Right, and we're going to have a handoff here. They're going to go around the outside, and he cannot turn the corner on the Vikings defense. He's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. And looks like it's going to be 3rd and 11 here for Hope Academy, as it is, at their 44-yard line. And again, you know, if the Vikings can get a 3-and-out here, that's going to be huge for their momentum. You know, starting off, you know, not having a good offensive possession, turning it around and getting back onto offense is definitely what we're going to be looking for here. We're going to have a timeout here by the St. Lawrence Vikings here with 8 minutes and 39 seconds left in the 3rd quarter of action here at beautiful Kavanaugh Stadium in Burbank, Illinois. And, yeah, with the Vikings leading by 6, we're going to look to continue that. We always want every play, you know, net positive. We want to improve more than we decline. And if we do that, we're definitely going to come out with a win today.
And, you know, once again, huge shout-out to the band down there. They're making their presence known.
Right, you know, St. Lawrence Band is great. Calvin Friend, actually, is a part of the prestigious St. Lawrence Band, but he's helping out here with the broadcast today. And, again, you know, David Ruiz leading the band, you know, making sure that his guys are riled up. And, you know, when the band's riled up, you know the student section's riled up. And that just gets the whole atmosphere going, and it makes opposing teams very nervous to come around here.
Yeah, that David Ruiz, he has, you know, enough energy for everyone, enough goodwill for everybody. It's
As
great to see him down there.
We're going to have the quarterback running backwards. That's not the way you run to get a first down, and he's going to run out of bounds about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, 4th and 14. Looks like the Vikings will be receiving a kick here. Kendall Spearman is back to receive, if that is what's going to be going on here. As it certainly looks like it is. Looks like they're in a kick formation. Kick's going to be taking place at about the 32-yard line, and so the Vikings should be able to get the ball past midfield on it with a good run from Kendall, which is definitely what they're going to be looking for to start their drive off on a good note. Here's the kick. Ooh, it's a boomer. Kendall's going to receive it at the 20-yard line, and he's going to drop it. And he's going to get onto the ball. Smart to get onto the ball at around the 10-yard line, not letting them take it into the end zone. And we're going to be pinned back at our 8-yard line. And we're going to start 1st and 10, 8-yard line. And we got a long way to go to get to the end zone, 92 yards. Not easy. From up here, the field doesn't look too big, but let me tell you, those yards start to add up when you start running the ball.
Tough spot for the Vikes. I think we can pull through, make it to the end zone.
Cal, I'd like to get your opinions on the STEM curriculum here at St. Lawrence. You know, what do you think about it? Because, again, personally, I've shared my views on it before. I love it. You know, I think it's one of the best things St. Lawrence could have decided to do these last 5 years or so, however long it's been, 2-3 years. What do you think?
I think STEM is it's just a great program. You know, St. Lawrence, one of the first STEM accredited schools in Illinois, actually the first in Illinois. They run a great program. They know what's up. It's a great learning experience, and it's good to work in a classroom with friends and people you don't know as much that you learn to work with in an environment like that.
Yeah, you know, great points there. And again, there are open houses and shadow days coming up for incoming Vikings who are looking to learn a little bit about our school. And I've previously mentioned those dates. I don't have it. And yeah, if you can go back into the broadcast, I'll try and send out that announcement once again later on in the broadcast, if I can find that information. And yeah, we look to see a lot of people out there. You know, those shadow days. It's always a great time to see the future of St. Lawrence. You know, the bright young minds walking into those doors who want to learn and want to succeed, truly succeed in life. And a great basis of that is here at St. Lawrence.
Yeah, I believe the first Shadow Day this year is on Columbus Day. So, you know, send your kids out to that. We'd love to have them at St. Lawrence.
And also, another announcement, tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning, there will be a baseball ID showcase taking place at Viking Field from 11 a.m. to about 1 or 1:30 p.m. And all 7th and 8th grade students who sign up before the start of the camp are welcome to come, and we can learn a little bit about you. You know, see, you know, different information, different stats on you, and you know, try and figure out who's going to be filling up those incoming freshman roster spots next year, which are very important, as the Vikings are set back now at the 7-yard line, 2nd and 11 here. 7 minutes and 55 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And, yeah, we're about to see another snap here. Long way to go here for the Vikings. Let's see what they can do. Darius Wilson's going to step back. It's going to be a screen here. It's going to be dropped. Incomplete, ruled by the officials. Incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd and 11 here. Vikings at their own 7-yard line. The Vikings have 2 timeouts left here in the second half, while Hope Academy is still with all 3 of their remaining timeouts. And here we go for the Vikings. And, yep, looks like we're going to bring the bring the kicker out to the field, and we're gonna 4th and 6. Nate Thomas couldn't quite get us to move the sticks here. We're gonna kick it away here. Again, playing field position. They're still gonna start unless we have a boomer of a kick. They're gonna start within our territory. But you know, Coach Blackman, I know he trusts his guys on the defensive end of the ball to halt this Hope Academy offense.
Once again, Blackman has done a great deal of service to this Viking football team, and I know he appreciates all his guys. They go out
So we're
there
gonna
and
have a
try
bit of a
no matter
short
what.
kick here. It's gonna land at about the 32-yard line. It's gonna end up at about the 41. You know, we got a friendly bounce there on the kick, because if that bounces backwards, we could be sitting with them starting at our own 28-yard line, which is definitely not something we expect.
STL STEM curriculum and see our beautiful.
Again, if you put an ear out to Mr. Kozak, he just sent out the announcement, which I was hinting at a few minutes ago. And again, we love to see people coming out for these shadow days and open houses, as we're going to have a direct snap to the quarterback here for Hope Academy. A little bit of a pause in the action here, seeing what play they're running, looking for a bit of an encroachment call here on the D-line for the Vikings. So we're going to have an immediate throw down to the flat for Hope Academy. He's going to be halted down with about a 3-yard gain. It's going to be about 2nd and 7. 2nd and 8, I apologize, at our own 39-yard line.
Once again, a great job for the St. Lawrence defense.
You know, anytime that you allow less than 4 yards on a play, it's considered a win because those averages, you're not going to get a first down if you don't have at least one play with, 4 yards. 3, that's just not going to cut it. Well, unless you go for it on 4th down, of course. So we're going to have a run up the chute. It's going to be at 3rd and about 3. Yep, 3rd and 3 here. And the Vikings 34, with the Vikings still with a 12-point lead. 5 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third quarter of action here. Still stagnant as far as scoring goes since halftime. We'll definitely look to see some more scoring action, hopefully for the Vikings. Quarterback gets the ball right away, and he fumbles the ball, but he's ruled down. Trevor Land, what do you know? He is definitely pulling the weight here for Hope Academy, and really, he's been doing great things all night. The Vikings have been able to hold him back a little bit. He's got the lone touchdown for Hope Academy. But, really, he's been the one moving the chains. He's been the one making plays for this Hope Academy offense. And the rest of the Eagles, although I'm sure they're very talented, they've been kind of taking a lesser role today. As he's going to take the ball again, and the Vikings are going to send him down to the ground. Not going to let that happen again. It is 2nd and 13 here. And the Vikings, again, with a great defensive play when, time really needed it, It's plays like that, aren't going to show up to be too big in a box score, but, those are momentum shifters, If they get a first down, you got to be able to send it back for 3 yards and, get the momentum a little bit back on your side. 2nd down coming up here, and they're going to pass. They're going to hand the ball off to the corner, and again, the Vikings are going to send them down. And this crowd's starting to get riled up here for the Vikings. Antoine Bryan again with the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and 14 for the Eagles. As that play, they only lost 1 yard, but let me tell you, they lost a lot as far as momentum and overall team confidence goes. I'm sure they're shaking in their boots a little bit right now with this big 14-yard chunky yardage they're going to need in 2 plays. And they're going to throw downfield, down to a wide-open receiver. Oh, and it's almost nearly picked off by the Vikings. In his hands, just couldn't quite corral it, as that would have been a huge play.
4th and 14 for the Eagles.
This is tough. 4th and 14. Are they going to kick the ball? Are they going to, I'm not sure if their kicker's or if their coach is confident enough in their kicker to try and go for 3. Looks like they're going to go for it here. They're sending Trevor Land out there to get the snap. And look, if I had to guess, I would say he's going to be the one making a play here. Definitely on a pass downfield, unless they decide to run the ball, which I think is quite likely. Yep, they're going to throw the ball downfield, and it's going to be a completion. It's going to be a first down for New Hope. Or not New Hope. Hope Academy. I don't know where I'm getting New Hope. Watching too much Star Wars recently. I apologize.
No such thing as too much Star Wars, Tom.
I'll tell you what. I love the prequels almost as much as I love the originals.
Yeah, that episode 3. It's hard to beat.
Revenge of the Sith. If you guys are forgetting the name of that one, it is legendary. It's the one where Darth Vader is created. And here we go. We got another snap to Trevor Land. And he's going to take the ball up the chute off the fake handoff. And again, he is going to be making plays for this Hope Academy offense. It's going to be 2nd and 2 at the Vikings 3-yard line. We've got a flag on the field. Let's see what it amounts to. We have unsportsmanlike conduct on the part of St. Lawrence, and they're going to get half the distance to the goal here, Hope Academy is. And it's stuff like that you just don't like to see out of the Vikings. We pride ourselves on being respectful competitors and hardworking, but, it's lapses in judgment like that where, I'm sure Coach Blackman is disappointed in his guys, but that's football. You got to take the wins with the losses. And Trevor Land is going to try and get in for the touchdown, and he does.
Touchdown Eagles.
It is now 12-12, seeing if they can get what I presume to be a 2-point conversion, as that's what they went for at the start of the game, although they could be kicking. And it looks like that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be kicking the ball, trying to get it through the uprights to take a 1-point lead over the Vikings with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the third quarter.
William Zanis attempting the extra point.
William Zanis, number 11. He's a sophomore for Hope Academy, the Eagles. That's encroachment. That's gonna hurt for the Vikings. You know, we can't let that kind of stuff happen here. And penalty is refused, and they're gonna go for a point after. As let's see if he can get it through the uprights. William Zanis. The kick is up, and unfortunately, it is good.
With 3:31 remaining in the third quarter, the score is Hope 13, Vikings 12.
I'll tell you what, I haven't seen that power coming out of a leg so far tonight. As Liam McCarthy, he's got distance on his kicks, but there's not that line drive, airplane taking off kind of path that we just saw there by William Zanis. A great booming kick through the uprights, but unfortunately, that's gonna have the Vikings pinned down by 1 point with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Now the Vikings need to just get their stuff together. Forget about the past. Just look to the future, and play it one play at a time.
Well said, Calvin. Yeah, definitely. You know, the Vikings just have to take it one play at a time. You know, hand the ball off. You know, throw the ball a little bit. We have to try and, you know, like I said before, I'm a huge fan of the net positive belief. If you can do something good every time, or, you know, not even do something good necessarily, just, you know, avoid big losses and not really worry about big gains. Just try and steadily improve throughout. That's how you win games. That's how you win football. That's how you win in every sport. So we're gonna have a kick near the sideline. It's gonna land at about the 36-yard line for the Vikings. The ball's gonna land itself out of bounds at the 35-yard line. There's a penalty marker on the field.
Now this is something doable for the Vikes to reach it down to the end zone, score the point.
Right. You know, I would say we're about 2 or 3 good runs that Nate Thomas is certainly capable of away from, you know, being in a great spot this drive.
Once again, Thomas is a great athlete, great kid, great sportsman.
The Vikings are going to start off on their own 36-yard line. I apologize. They're starting at their 40-yard line. Our scoreboard's catching up there. And, yeah, we're going to look. We're going to start up on the left hashes. We're going to see what we can do. The right side of the field, we have one-on-one coverage here. I believe that is Justin Kimber. And Miles Scott, I'm sorry, that was. And not going to get a gain on that one.
Second and 15.
2nd and 16, I would like to correct you, Calvin, for the Vikings, on their own 34-yard line. And, you know, while a play like that's definitely disappointing, we have tools on this offense that 6 yards, it's a lot, but it's doable. It's definitely doable. Darius Wilson's going to step back. That's going to be a screen play to Nate Thomas, and he's not going to be able to break that tackle. He's going to be brought down at about the 29-yard line. It is now 3rd down and about a country mile, 20 yards that we need to get to move the chains. And, you know, tough drive so far. We don't want to go 3 and out, though. We want to have a big play here. You know, preferably on the ground, you know, not risk airing it out for an interception. But, you know, we'll see what we plan here. Just try and play some field position.
You know, something like that, a loss of 4 yards. It's not something we would like to see, and unfortunately we had to see it today. We just got to move on from that.
Darius Wilson's going to step back in the pocket. Pocket protection is great. He's going to air it out, and it's just going to be a little bit long. intended receiver was Miles Scott, and it's going to be just a little bit long. As if he hit his back shoulder, that is a touchdown for Miles Scott from Darius Wilson. And again, you know, it's those sophomore year jitters that have been getting to some of the Vikings, and that's some of the stuff that's going to be hammered down, you know, I'm sure this week throughout practice. But, you know, as of now, there's nothing we could do in the third quarter other than try and fight through it and get a win.
And with all these sophomores on the team right now, it'll be a real strong team next year after having played varsity for a year already. We're going to have a real good group next season.
That's a great point, Cal. But, of course, Coach Blackman and his boys, and as well as the fans, we don't really care about next season, right? We're looking for this year, and we're, you know, trying to win with what we have. And we definitely have the team to win. We just need to start making some plays.
No lack of talent here at St. Laurence High School.
Nope. And the Vikings are going to set up 4th and 20. They're going to kick the ball with Liam McCarthy. And it is a high kick. Lands at the 52-yard line. And 48-yard line, I'm sorry. And it is going to roll all the way down to the 39-yard line with a little help with the wind there by 77. Number 77, Myron Lewis, you know, trying to blow the ball a couple extra yards down the field with the roll. I'm not sure if that's going to work out, you know, with the logistics of it, but it's the intent that counts here.
Good thought down there by Myron.
The Hope Academy is going to set up here at their own 34-yard line. Similar field position to what the Vikings started their last drive at, but with that 3-and-out for the Vikings, they're definitely not going to try and replicate that, although I would not complain if it happens. As they're going to draw again, and let's see, he'll get about to the first down marker. He'll get about 8 or 9 yards on that run, and that's going to set up 2nd and short. Trevor Land gets him to 2nd and 2. They're coming out from the 42-yard line now with a 1-point lead. And it's plays like that, you know, starting drives that really shift momentum in games. You know, although we've got the home field advantage per se, it's dwindling a little bit. You know, we got to get the student section up. Maybe the band could help with that, as you pointed out before, Calvin.
Now let's see if these bikes can just hold them to the line, maybe push them back. That'd be great to see.
Right, you know, I feel like if we get the electricity up here in the stands here, that's going to really boost our players' confidence out on the field. As it's going to be an officials' timeout here.
Great student section. Thanks to everyone who came out wearing white with a hint of gold tonight. It's great to see you guys.
Right, with 1:55 minutes left in the third quarter. The Vikings have 2 of their timeouts remaining, and Hope Academy has used 1 timeout all game, and they still have all 3 of their timeouts left here for the second half. As that's going to be huge going forward. And it's going to be another big run here, getting them the first down and more for Trevor Land. Will Waters with the tackle. Again, Trevor Land really is stepping up for this Hope Academy offense. And, you know, he's been huge. He's been what the Eagles have relied on all night. And he's going to continue to be that for them, I would presume. There's no reason to change that game plan. The Vikings can't seem to be able to stop him. As we're going to have an illegal shift here on the offense, false start. They had 2 men motioning at the same time, but they're gonna say they got the timeout in time. Hope Academy did, as that is definitely a huge not really a huge momentum shift, but if that would have turned into a penalty, that would have been huge for the Vikings. You know, setting them back 5 yards. You know, at the start of their down.
let's see if we can get some energy into the Vikings. This Viking defense really is working hard tonight. They're putting their all in, and it'd be great to see them do more.
Although the score might not be what the Vikings are looking for, I'll tell you what, this Friday night action is electric. Everywhere from the student section, I haven't seen one kid in the student section sit down all game. And let me tell you, that is great to see as from the booth. And we're about to get back into the action here for the Vikings. They line up on defense at the 50-yard line. They're splitting the field here. So we have motion, and they're going to direct snap it, and they actually are going to hand it off here. He's going to go to the outside, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards. 6 or 7 yards here, starting the play off. Justin O with the tackle. 2nd and 3 coming up here for Hope Academy. We got motion here for the Eagles. They're gonna fake the handoff, and Trevor Land is gonna run the ball around the outside, and he gets taken down. Good for a first down. Justin O again with a tackle. He's been working hard these last couple of plays. First and 10 here for Hope Academy at the St. Laurence 39-yard line. Here's the snap, and they're gonna rush the ball up the middle, and it's gonna be a big time takedown for the D line of St. Lawrence. No gain on that play. Sorry, gain of 1 yard, and very minute 1 yard. That's a win for the Vikings there on that down.
Again, with the clock running down, 22 seconds now.
Right, and the clock is running, so they're going to have to really hurry up if they're going to try and get into the end zone here before the third quarter. Or they may just concede it, and they might just, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to wait until the fourth quarter to try and make something happen when they got time on the clock. They don't have to worry about it. And at the end of the third quarter, we've seen 1 touchdown since halftime, and I would say, what do you think, Cal? I'd say the first half was definitely a little bit more lively than the second half. We've kind of died down since then. What do you think?
Yeah, it's cooling down. They're starting to slow down a little bit, but I'm sure Blackman's going to talk them into keep going. Never give up.
You think any of that has to do with the temperature itself cooling down, or do you think that's just kind of how football goes sometimes?
I think it's a little bit of both. That's just kind of how the game works. Temperature is a small factor.
Right, football players always like to pride themselves on, they play in every weather. Rain, snow, sunshine, 90-degree weather in the summer for practices, but they don't complain about it. But, sometimes they might not say it affects them, but underlying, it definitely hurts.
It definitely hurt us a couple years ago, 2015, I believe, a snowball game against Nazareth. It was snowing, but the Vikes were packing the stands, not giving up on their team.
Yeah, it's always great to see, in tough conditions when the students come out to support the Vikes. It's a little bit harder for the students to sit there in the cold when they're not moving around. But guys on the field, they're moving around, making tackles, and making a difference in the game. They're getting sweaty. But when you're sitting in the stands, it gets pretty cold, let me tell you. Hope Academy here snaps the ball, direct snap. It's going to be a gain of about 5 or 6 yards here. Trevor Land once again with the carry. I mean, I don't think they're going to move away from him. They're going to be going with him for about the rest of the game, I would say. Definitely trying to improve on their yardage and use him to get a lead.
And huge shout out to all the former Vikings in the stands today. I saw a few that graduated last year. Corey DeLaurentis, big shout out. Brendan Kavanaugh, good to see you back.
Up in the booth here for the St. Lawrence broadcast team is Ed Kozak, class of 1979. He's in his 19th year as the voice of the Vikings. The official timekeeper is Ken Kuffner, class of 1985, who also is in his 19th year. They are joined by scoreboard operator Jimmy Tracy and spotter Kay Kozak in the press box, as well as myself, Calvin Friend, Jason Dornbos, and Riley Stone.
You know, Mr. Kozak really has a great energy up here. You know, always eccentric, always moving.
Number 2, Kendall Spearman, being helped off the field here. You know, not something we like to see. On other news, I don't know if Calvin, I'm not sure if you watched the Browns game last night.
Did not watch the game.
Well, if you missed it, 2017 Heisman Trophy Award winner Baker Mayfield made his debut against the New York Jets, and he really showed out. You know, he came back from a deficit, and he won the game for the Browns. It's a rare sight, as that's going to be a touchdown for Hope Academy, as you know, the Vikings let that one slip through. Trevor Land, once again, getting it into the end zone for Hope Academy and the Eagles. And now the Vikings trail 19-12 with a extra point attempt coming up here for the Eagles.
Well, if I were Trevor Land, I'm sure my back would hurt right now from carrying the team.
That's great input, Cal. We love to see that kind of color commentary. Let me tell you, he definitely isn't showing that he's got anything on his back. He is running like a gazelle out there.
Encroachment on St. Lawrence, dead ball.
As we had a pause in the action right before the kick. You know, that stuff like that affects kickers sometimes, you know. Icing the kicker is a very popular move here. You know, calling timeouts right before the kick for the opposing team. Trying to ice the kicker. Cool him down, you know, make him a little bit more nervous. But here comes the snap for the kick. The kick is up, and it is good for the Eagles, as the Eagles now have a 20-12 lead here with 11 minutes and 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter of action here at beautiful Kavanaugh Stadium in Burbank, Illinois. And here's a huge shout-out to Corey DeLaurentis, big man down in the stands. He really was the face of the Vikings for a few years as far as pride and spirit goes. But, you know, it's tough to see people like that go from the school. But there's always people that step up, like David Ruiz, for example. He's really taken that role as a leader in the school. And he works hard every day to make an impact.
Good luck to Corey D out there at Western Michigan.
The Vikings head back out on the field to try and start an offensive possession. As they're down by 8 points, that technically is one possession to tie. If they get into the end zone and go for 2 and convert, that is a tie game. But Hope Academy Eagles are gonna kick the ball away here to pretty much begin the fourth quarter. There was a little bit of action starting the fourth quarter, but I mean this is really where the fourth quarter starts here. This is a turn in the game that we need. A little bit of a squibber kick, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. Flags on the field because it went out of bounds.
Love to see our Golden Girls down there cheering us on.
The Golden Girls know what's up. You know, they know this is a crucial drive for the Vikings. You know, this could decide the game. There's a lot of time left. You never really know football games, but this drive is huge for the Vikings to start something out. We have a pre-kick infraction on Hope Academy. That's 5 yards from the out-of-bounds spot in which the kick landed. The Vikings will start at their 45-yard line. Darius Wilson set up to receive the snap with his right-hand man, Nate Thomas, to his left.
Wilson and Thomas, two great players. Good to see sophomores step up for this varsity team.
Right, and also, more importantly than two great players, two great friends. You know, they sit together and lunch every day. They truly, truly enjoy each other's company, and that's important for a football team. As Nate Thomas is going to fight for an extra 2 yards after contact, that's going to set us up for about a 2nd and 5 opportunity here at our 50-yard line.
Little fun fact about Thomas, not only is he great at football, he's a great bowler. I've seen him bowl 3 turkeys in a row.
3 turkeys in a row. Don't know if that's the terminology, Cal. You'd like to
For
elaborate?
clarification, 3 games with 3 turkeys.
Thank you, Cal. I'm not a bowling expert. You know, I would need that extra information. Nate's going to run up the middle, run up the seam. He's going to get himself a first down here for the Vikings. It's about a 7-yard gain. And we're going to start 1st and 10 here at their 43-yard line. The Vikings are marching down the field, and student section's starting to lighten up a little bit. Another run by Nate Thomas. He's going to shoot up the middle, and he's going to get about halfway up through the chains. It's going to be about 2nd and 4. I apologize if I 2nd and 7. I apologize. A little bit bad with math up here.
Timeout, Hope.
Timeout, Hope Academy, with 10 minutes and 39 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The Vikings and Hope Academy both have, now the Vikings have 2 timeouts remaining, with Hope Academy only 1 timeout remaining. And if the Vikings score now, that timeout could prove costly for Hope Academy, because only 1 timeout left with the 4th quarter just now pretty much getting underway a minute and a half ago. That's huge, you know. You need those timeouts late game situations, and the Vikings have done a great job, you know, holding on to them. But Hope Academy's kind of been freewheeling with them.
Yeah, it'll be great to see the Vikes dig in and just finish this out, hopefully bring home a win.
And the Golden Girls getting into it again. Hopefully the band and the Golden Girls can really step it up and help this student section get going. You know, that's huge for the Vikings, the student section. I'd say the Black and Gold Machine is one of the best players on our team, if I had to say so myself. You know, I'd say they account for about 30% of our success every year, just the support.
I'd have to agree with you.
2nd and 7 here for the Vikings. You know, 3-yard gain, that's average. That's what we want. That's how we're gonna, if we do that every time, we're gonna be set into good opportunities. Nate Thomas is gonna be taken down at probably a gain of about 1 yard. 3rd and 7. They're gonna say he was at the line of scrimmage. We're gonna be set at their 40-yard line, looking to move the chains here on 3rd down and 7. You know, this is an important play in the game. I'd say out of all the plays so far, this is gonna be the most crucial here for the Vikings. You know, momentum-wise, score-wise, time-wise, a lot of factors play into this one. This is an important play. Let's see what the Vikings draw up here. Darius is going to get the snap. He's going to step back and throw. That ball is going to be, there are many flags on the field. Looks like it's going to be pass interference here. The pass was intended for Miles Scott, number 9. And flags on the field. Let's see what it was. It looked like, yep, pass interference, just as I hinted at. That's a 15-yard gain right there. As the Vikings get a first down here, they're set up at the 25-yard line, close to the red zone here. We need to start moving the chains down there on the other side of the field. I don't know what's taking so long. There we go. We're getting them moving now.
Great to see the Vikes make a good play, and let's hope that it got them into their heads that they can do this.
Right, and again, just a reminder, the Vikings are down by 8 points here with 9 minutes and 55 seconds left in the 4th quarter of action.
I truly believe we can still pull through and win this, Tom. How about
Vikings
you?
set up here with a big backfield, 1 lead blocker, sorry. Darius is going to take it for himself. He can get this. Oh, he fights through contact and fights his way back to about the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard or 2 more.
Gain of 1 yard. 1 yard.
Gain of 1 yard. We're going to be set up at our 24-yard line. Their 24-yard line, I apologize. We're in enemy territory here. you know, if we get one more great run by Nate Thomas, we could be looking at ourselves at a 1-point game.
See if the Vikes can do this.
Vikings have three wideouts here with 3 men in the backfield, including the quarterback here, as Darius Wilson gets ready to take the snap. And here we go. They're gonna he's gonna throw it. And that ball is almost nearly picked off. As you could feel the collective sigh of happiness, I guess, for the Vikings in the stands, and that was huge. That could have been a big momentum shift here for the Eagles. That's a big play right there. That ball gets picked off. That could be trouble. Vikings are set up at 3rd and 9 at the Eagles' 24-yard line. Darius Wilson ready to take the snap. Here it is. He's going to step back. We're throwing the ball here, and there's a flag already on the field. He evades one man. He steps up, and he is tackled down. Luckily, he hangs on to the football. Penalty marker in the backfield. It could be holding on the Vikings. I was not quite looking at the line. I was more worried about what Sumo was doing with the ball. But we'll see what the refs have to say. Holding on St. Laurence, as I hinted at. We'll see if the penalty is accepted or declined by Hope Academy. Looks like it will be accepted.
Loss of 10 yards.
It's going to be 3rd and 17 here for the Vikings. Got a long way to go to get to the chains. I mean, if the Vikings can get within field goal territory for Liam McCarthy to put a little bit on the board here, that's huge. We got to be walking away with something rather than nothing. As Sumo takes the snap, he's going to step back. He's going to throw it downfield. And it's a high throw. It's going to be caught by Miles Scott in the end zone for a Vikings touchdown.
Great throw, great catch.
20-18. Hope Academy with the lead, but the Vikings have all the momentum. And I'll tell you what. Yep. It is electric down here in Kavanaugh Stadium here.
We're back in this game.
20-18. We are back into the game as the Vikings score down in the red zone. And we'll see what we do, if we're going for 2, if we're just going to be safe and go for 1.
That's really monumental for the Vikings to change the spirits around on the team.
I'll tell you what, 3rd and 17, there was weight in the stands. There was a lot of nervous faces I saw from my angle. A lot of people looking scared, not sure what the Vikings were going to do. But the sophomore, Darius Wilson, comes up huge once again for the Vikings to get us a touchdown here late in the game. 8 minutes and 25 left in the 4th quarter. And it looks like we're going to go for it. We're going to go for 2. There's going to be a delay of game here on the Vikings, as it took a little bit too long to decide. The Vikings are going to be set up back a little bit now from the lossage of yards there. Lost about 5 yards, which is going to make this 2-point conversion tough. Now we got to get 7 yards instead of the 2 yards that is accustomed with 2-point conversions. As we see the Vikings do. Darius Wilson's going to get the ball here. He's going to step up out of the pocket. He's going to spin around, and he is going to be taken down. It is still 20-18. Hope Academy Eagles with the lead. But the Vikings rushing down the field, making it close, making it a game, making it a good football game here to watch. As we hear the Viking fight song going on in the background in the bleachers, and hopefully the student section responds to it well as you see them throwing up their V's. the Vikings defense has a little bit of a talk with themselves, hyping themselves up. They know that this drive for Hope Academy is well, it's critical to the outcome of this game. If they can, if we can get a stop here, then we're gonna be in great shape for the rest of this game, as we will only need Liam McCarthy to come up with 3 to take the lead if we get a stop here.
Let's see if McCarthy can pull through for us.
McCarthy is out to kick off the ball to the Eagles here, and hopefully we can pin them down deep in their own territory to start off with good field position on defense. The kick is up, caught at the 12-yard line, and they're going to try and run it. And he is going to split one, and he's going to be taken down at about the 36-yard line. Myron Lewis is loving it on the sideline. He's getting the student section riled up, as the defense really needs to step up here for the Vikings. Justin O once again with a tackle. The 32-yard line here for Hope Academy. First and 10, 8 minutes and some change left here in the fourth quarter. 18-20 with the Vikings trailing the Eagles. Let's see what Hope Academy can run here, as he's gonna hold the ball, and they're not gonna get much yardage here. It's gonna be looking about 2nd and 8 here.
Much of a gain. Good to see the Vikings hold them back like that.
What'd you say, Cal?
Said there's not much of a gain. Good to see the Vikings hold them back like that.
Definitely. You know, the Vikings defense all night has been consistent, but not consistent enough. They've been good, but not good enough. You know, it's a common theme. We got a fumble on the field, and luckily Hope Academy recovers it. And bad snap there to start the drive there. It's going to be 3rd and 22. That was huge for the Vikings, as, you know, breaks like that we need to capitalize. These next two downs are the most important 2 downs of this game so far for the Vikings. Quarterback has the ball. Trevor down as we make a tackle here to send him down behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down and about 13 yards.
4th and 13, so hopefully we'll hold them to that. They won't get first down.
I'll tell you what, they just took 9 yards on us, and while we're still up 14 yards as far as downage goes, we really need to not give up 9 yards on a run from the quarterback. And it's been happening all night, and that's just the kind of play that we can't let happen. And it's frustrating, but they have a really good player back there getting the snaps, and we're just trying our best here, as they're going to kick the ball up. High kick, and it's going to fall out of bounds here at about the 22-yard line.
And you know the Vikings next week at practice, they're going to be running all those plays to see how they can get better. They always want to improve.
Right, and a lot of work is going to be done as far as Nate Thomas shooting gaps, because if you recall in the first quarter, he would have had a touchdown if he would have cut to the outside on one, but, you know, he cut inside, and although he is a great running back, there's always room for improvement, and that's with anyone in any sport or field that they work in. And here come the Vikings with 6 minutes and 25 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They are looking to storm down the field just like they did last time and put up some points to take the lead over the Eagles. Darius Wilson sets up in the backfield with Nate Thomas here on his left. Here's the snap. Hands it off to Nate Thomas. He's going to run up the middle. He's going to get a solid gain of yards. With about 5 yards gain, he's going to be 2nd and 5 here for the Vikings from their own 31-yard line.
Thomas, very aggressive. Doesn't let much stop him, but, you know, what else can you do when there's 5 guys on top of you?
Right, and you said he's a big, quite the big bowler, you know. He's a wrecking ball out there. It's hard to stop him. As we see again, he's fighting for yards. Didn't work out as well that time. He gets forward progress, though. It's going to be about 3rd and 1 for the Vikings. The Vikings are set up at 3rd and 2 here from their own 34-yard line. Darius Wilson takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Nate Thomas. Big play right here. He's going to cut through the middle. He's going to move the chains for the Vikings as the crowd's getting behind him now.
First down.
First down, Vikings.
My God. All right, Nate Thomas really making a huge play, moving the sticks there for the Vikings. As now from the 45-yard line, he's going to get the ball again. Same play. He's going to cut through the middle again for another Vikings first down.
Great job by this Vikings offense.
You remember that song, Calvin, by Miley Cyrus, I Came In Like a Wrecking Ball?
I do remember that song.
I'll tell you what, that's what Nate Thomas is looking like right now. He is just barreling through the field, not letting anything stop him. This is why we have these two guys in the backfield. They make exciting, good plays when the Vikings truly need them the most. You know, they might not always be the most consistent, but when they need to be amazing, they are just that.
And, you know, that's because of all the time commitment that they put into the sport. They really dedicate themselves to it, and it's great to see a good result.
Right, and every morning when I come into the front doors of St. Lawrence, there's never a time I don't see a football player, you know, sweating or, you know, looking tired from putting in work in the morning. And it's not even putting in work for them. It's improvement to them. They don't see it as working out. They see it as steadily improving themselves for the Friday night lights.
That's a great way to put it, Tom.
Thank you, Calvin. Let's see what the Vikings do here on 1st and 10 from the Eagles' 41-yard line. Down by 2. They're cramming the line here are the Eagles, and Wilson's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it off to Nate Thomas, and somehow he finds a gap through all that pressure. He's going to get a big gain here for the Vikings.
And Nate always finds a way to get through.
He just fought 7 yards. 2nd and 3 now for the Vikings. 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. And Nate Thomas is going to fight again for a couple of yards. That's going to look like it's going to move the chains here for the Vikings.
Viking first down.
We are 31 yards away from winning this football game as of now. And by winning, I mean having the lead. Of course. Darius Wilson ready for the snap. Let's see what the Vikings have up their sleeve now. Nate Thomas, what do you know? He's going to run it up the middle. And looks like he's going to get about 1 yard there.
No, I'd like to see Thomas run it up the side of the field. Haven't
Right,
seen
you
much of
know,
that today.
you got to see some of that sweep action. But, you know, most of the time when the Vikings do that, they really look to Miles Scott or Justin Kimber for those.
Timeout for injury.
Calvin, what are your thoughts on the Bears this season? They've really stepped up from last year, and signing Khalil Mack, that man is a monster, don't you think?
You know, quite frankly, I am not a Bears fan. It's good to see a Chicago team get better. You know, they've been not so great these last couple of years, and even though I'm not a fan, it'll be good to see them get better.
Well, what team are you a fan of?
Green Bay Packers.
All right, everybody listening from home, I would like you to comment down in the comment section below if you think the Packers are completely brutal and that Cal should change his mind on who he supports. Thank you very much.
Not so sure about that, Tom.
Well, to each their own, right, Cal? That's why this country was founded on freedom of speech.
Exactly.
Kyle Ecker running off the field. Definitely has made a big impact on this game here for the Vikings. He's had that pocket protection on lockdown today. And number 67, always making an impact for the Vikings, doing big things.
Yeah, looks like him.
The Vikings set up here on the 30-yard line, 2nd and 9. Darius Wilson is ready to take the snap, and he does. He hands it off to Nate Thomas. He's got a gap, and he's taken down for what nearly looks like a first down there. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Vikings.
Kyle Ecker heading back out onto the field.
3rd and 3 for the Vikings now. Vikings with a huge 3rd down possession right here. Darius Wilson takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Nate Thomas. Nate Thomas finds a seam, and he's going to get a first down for the Vikings. As this crowd's getting electric now. We're at the 20-yard line now. We're down by 2. We have 2 timeouts. Keep in mind, Hope Academy has 0 timeouts remaining, which will come in crucial for them in this game.
This Viking offense is really doing such a great job tonight.
And I'll tell you what, all of us up in the booth are standing up now. We cannot handle the suspense of this football game.
Looks like the loss of a couple yards.
We're going to take a loss there on first down. It's going to be 2nd and I believe 11 for the Vikings. Second and 10 here for the Vikings. You know, we could treat that play like an incomplete pass. We didn't gain anything. We didn't lose anything.
What matters is that we just keep going. Don't look to the past.
Right, I'll tell you what. Nate Thomas is not worried about that play. He will not give up on the offensive side of the ball. I guarantee you that. He will keep on fighting for yards.
Thomas
As they have a lead blocker here in the backfield, as Darius takes a snap and he's gonna fake the handoff. He's gonna throw it deep. That ball's gonna be complete. Touchdown, Vikings! As we take a lead here in the 4th quarter.
You can hear the thunderous applause from the Kavanaugh Stadium.
That's
Viking
just
side.
a little bit of the noise we're hearing here at Kavanaugh Stadium, as this crowd is absolutely electric as the Vikings take a 24-20 lead here with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
New energy here for the Vikes. Hopefully we can keep it going.
I'll tell you what, Calvin, this is what Friday nights are all about, don't you think?
Exactly what Friday nights are about.
We're going to go for 2 here with Nate Thomas, and he's going to get into the end zone for 2 points. That makes it a 6-point lead for the Vikings, as Myron Lewis is really hyped up here.
Great job, Viking offense.
Here comes the fight song. Let's listen in live. All right.
You know, the fight song, truly a masterpiece, written by one of St. Lawrence's past band directors. What an accomplishment.
Thank you, Cal. Thank you for the band insight. I did not know that. That's great. That's great stuff. Great info. Again, yeah, the fight song, it fits St. Lawrence perfectly. Right when we need it, it comes through. And I'll tell you what, it does make a difference on the field, whether you think it or not. I'll tell you what, the Vikings defense has been impeccable all game. Although letting up 20 points, this is a great Hope Academy offense. And the fact that we can hold them now would be huge for the Vikings. As the kick is up, it's a far kick. We're looking good. They catch it about the 13. They cannot handle the ball. How'd the popcorn taste last night, New Hope? They're going to be pinned down within their 12-yard line.
Inside the 10-yard line. Not looking good for the Eagles, and that's the kind of stuff we like.
I'll tell you what. I don't think the popcorn last night was worth it because the Butterfingers are coming in strong today for Hope Academy. And that's been the way all day. You know, a lot of fumbles, both sides of the ball. You know, a lot of missed snaps. Might be because it's the first cold day of the year, you know. Hands are a little bit frozen. We're not used to that yet. Just a thought. I'll tell you what, the Vikings defense is set up for success right now. You can't ask for a better special teams, for a better start for the defense from the special teams rather. And we'll see what our defense can do. As they're gonna air the ball out to As that ball is going to be complete at the 33-yard line by Hope Academy, number 14. Neil Campbell with the reception from the quarterback, and that's a big play for the start of their drive.
That hurt a little bit, but the Viking defense can keep it hopefully in front of the 50-yard line.
Right. Again, we just need to keep them out of the red zone. Really, they're gonna run the ball with Trevor Land, and it is not gonna work out. I'll tell you what, the Vikings are starting to figure out where this man likes to go. He likes to run it up the chute when we're not expecting it, and
No, it's really
I'll tell you
important that
what.
these Vikings don't get their hopes up too high. The game's not over yet. We have 2 minutes, 17 seconds.
I see
and
what
we
you
need
did
to
there,
be in it all
Cal.
the way.
I see what you did there, Cal. Keep their hopes down against Hope Academy. That's the stuff we like to see up in the booth. Give me some for that.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, but pun received. And I'll tell you what, the band has been doing amazing today. Don't you think, Cal?
Oh, yeah, they're great. I wish I could be down there with them, but today, I'm up in the press box. Next week, I'll probably be playing with them.
Right, Cal, and I hope to see you there. And hopefully next week I'll be in the broadcasting team once again. Don't think I have anything going on my Friday night other than Viking football.
Friday nights are for Viking football.
And then Saturdays are for the boys. Let's go.
Sundays are for God, of course.
And I just reminded myself I will not be at Viking Field next Friday because we have a road game at Fenwick on September 28th at 7:30 p.m. I will, however, be at Viking Field on October 5th at 7:30 p.m. to face the St. Rita on Friday, October 5th.
Now, that'll be a huge game.
That's going to be a huge completion up the middle. Hopefully we can stop them. Uh-oh. They're going to get into the end zone as Hope Academy.
65-yard touchdown pass for the Eagles.
Trevor
Really
Land
big
coming up
throw.
huge with his arm. He's been doing it with his legs all day, and now with his arm, a 65-yard completion to tie the game here with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, but with a point-after attempt coming up. Who knows what could be in store for the lead.
Let's see if we can hold them to 26 and then gain some.
And the Vikings look to be getting the ball with about 2 minutes left. And I'll tell you what, if there's something these Vikings work on every day in practice, it's 2-minute drills. So we'll see if they can come through in the clutch.
Yeah, Blackman prepares them for pretty much every scenario in football. It's great.
Right, and again, every football team goes out every day and looks for 2-minute drills as the kick is good. And the Vikings now trail by 1 point. It is 27-26. The Vikings still have 2 timeouts. Hope Academy has 0. With 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, we look to receive a kick.
Now our first half announcer, Riley Stoneback, up here, he lost his voice cheering for St. Laurence in the student section. That's really good to see.
That's what we like to see. We might have liked to have him up in the booth for his color commentary. But you know what? Cal's done a great job stepping up to the plate when we truly needed him the most in the second half.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that.
As the Vikings are looking to receive a kick here with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to go here in the game. Down by 1 point. Looks like it could be a squib or an onside kick. I would guess it would be more of a squib than an onside. And that's what it is. Just that. It's a squib kick. Kendall's going to receive it. He's going to try and spin around to tackle it, and he's just going to be stopped about 4 yards ahead of where he caught it. So we're going to set up at around the 39-yard line.
Great effort to gain yards by
36.
Kendall. Here we are at the 37-yard line.
The Vikings look to trot down the field once again with a big hand in that coming from Nate Thomas, presumably, as he's been carrying the load for the Viking offense as far as yardage goes this game. I indeed do love to talk, Cal. All right, Darius Wilson set up in the backfield with Nate Thomas here. 4 men out, 2 men in the backfield. Let's see what we can do. A.J. Wren looking intensely at the action from the sideline. Number 17 on the sideline. Here's the snap. He's dropping back. He's running. Motion. Can he get it? That's going to be a completion. Oh, no, it's not. False alarm.
False alarm.
That's going to be an incomplete pass from Sumo. Here comes 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Darius Wilson set up in the backfield once again to receive the snap. Started the play here. He's stepping back. He's throwing deep. Can he get it? Oh, it's going to be just long.
Unfortunately, we could not make the pass.
Miles Scott was the intended receiver. We're going to fall on 3rd and 10 here from our own 37-yard line, down by 1 point. Darius Wilson set up to receive the snap. And here we go. He's stepping back to throw. He's turning. He's evading tacklers. He's going to run it. Can he turn? And that's going to be a Viking first down.
Great run by Sumo.
That's the kind of stuff we've been looking for from Darius Wilson all season, you know? That elusiveness, that athleticism he brings to the table from the quarterback position. And it's great to see it now in such a clutch situation, you know? The ball is going to be spotted at the halfway marker of the field, although it is not halfway through this drive. We still have a long way to go to get to the end zone. Here's the snap to Wilson. He's going to drop back once again. He's going to throw it deep. And that ball is going to be picked off by Hope Academy. And he's going to spin around one tackler. He's going to dive in. He's going to end up at about the 43-yard line. There's a flag on the field, but we're not sure what that's for yet. I'll tell you what, right when that ball was caught by Hope Academy, there was a shift in the electricity in this stadium right away. You could feel it go from this side of the stadium all the way to the other side, and it's just a tough play to watch. You know, we were having a good drive going, and you know, one play doesn't quite work out for us, and it's all flipped on its head. Darius looks quite disappointed on the sideline, but you know, he's a sophomore. There's nothing much you could really expect. As far as more than what he's done today. He's already done incredible things this game. It's going to be a first down for Hope Academy at the 50-yard line. once again, we would like to thank Calvin Friend for stepping up in the second half for Riley Stone. He was missing in action, and maybe it's a little bit of that good luck charm that Riley had in the first half that we just missed, but we'll never truly know.
Well, I'm glad that Riley had fun down in the student section. Lost his voice cheering. That's great to see.
I'll tell you what, our whole student section was having fun today because this is a very entertaining football game, and although this might be a little bit demoralizing for the Vikings to watch, we still have 1 minute and 27 seconds left to go, and we're only down by 1 point, so the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, we're in it to win it, and we can still do it.
Well, realistically, the possibilities are not endless. There are only two. We have a Vikings win and a Hope Academy win that we could be looking for, or a tie, as we saw in Week 1 of the NFL season with the Cleveland Browns. I would like to send out another huge shout out to Mr. Gacious for always being 100% involved with the broadcasting team up here in sports media, always making sure things are organized, and also being an incredible soccer coach and a great cameraman. As far as photography goes around St. Lawrence, you can't really beat Mr. Gacious, and I don't think he ever sleeps. I've never seen him sleep.
That's why he drinks so much Red Bull, Tom.
I'll tell you what, I've never seen that man without a Red Bull in his hand. And it's a different color every day, let me tell you, Cal.
He had coconut the other day. Really interesting. Never seen that before.
What do you think tomorrow's Red Bull will be for Mr. Gacious?
Tomorrow's secret because no one knows what he does on a Saturday.
You're right. Today's Friday. There's no school tomorrow.
Once again, we're stalled here for an injury on the field.
And score update and time update and everything. 1 minute and 27 seconds left to go. Hope Academy is leading the Vikings 27-26, and they're on the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, in the fourth quarter of action.
Gator truck on the field.
Yep. This is never a sight we like to see for the Vikings, but it's a part of the game. It's a physical game, and although we like to, say football is a game of what do we say, flair and spirit and positivity, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. That's just how the cookie crumbles, as they say.
Huge shout out to the Bedford Park Fire Department and their EMTs. They're on standby.
And steering the silence away from the game right now, Calvin, I would like to ask you, what was the reason that you wanted to come to St. Lawrence as an 8th grader?
I just really enjoyed all the, how welcome I felt, at the open houses and shadow days. It's truly a community, not just one big place. It's big, but it's very small. You get to know everyone.
Right. I would like to, I truly agree with that, and to elaborate a little bit, St. Lawrence, a lot of times, at many high schools, you always hear the high school drama and the high school this and the high school that. This place is truly different than that, as everyone's really focused on helping their brothers out, as well as, making sure that their brothers are helping them out at the same time. And it's a family atmosphere, and, people, like friendly faces around the hallways, like Mr. Gacious and, Mr. Dean Shaw, always help to enforce that.
And of course, Jimmy Tracy down there in the copier room.
And let's not forget about Mr. Muting riding his bicycle. Can never forget about that. Legendary stuff.
What's going on right now? You know about as much as we do.
Right, and as far as we don't like to see this, but the student section, it will be tough for them to get back onto their feet after a pause in the action like this. We're a very rowdy bunch here at St. Lawrence, but it's getting late. It's getting past our bedtimes, so it's tough to know if we'll be able to bounce back as far as the student section go. I know the guys on the field will be ready. As we hear a huge round of applause from the Viking faithful for Lewis Bond. This is a tough pill to swallow for the Vikings, but we got to remember there's still a minute and a half left to go in this game, and it's a close game. It's a good game. Anything can happen from now, and the Vikings got to keep their spirits up and play for their buddy.
Let's hope that Lewis Bond is okay over there. I'm sure he'll pull through it.
I'll tell you what, Lewis is one of the toughest working guys I've ever met. He's another one of those sophomores on this varsity team for the Vikings. And you're not going to find many people that work harder than him day in and day out. So if there's a recovery process, he's going to smash it. First and 10 here for Hope Academy at the 20-yard line. Minute and 27 seconds left. Let's see what the Vikings defense can do. As they're going to run it, and he's going to be taken down for about a gain of 3 yards roundabout. It's going to be 2nd and 7 here as they're set up at the 23-yard line. Vikings timeout.
Timeout St. Lawrence.
And once again, I would like to further emphasize how much I truly appreciate everyone tuning into the broadcast from home or from work or from the car, which I do not recommend. Do not drive and broadcast. Stay safe out there, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in for some Viking football tonight. Second and 6 here at the 24-yard line for Hope Academy. The Vikings defense looking to get a 3-and-out here to turn the tide in this game here late with a minute and 22 seconds left, but looking bleak. Here's the snap. He's going to run it right away, and he's going to get through the line and then reach out for a few extra yards after it. It's going to be third and 2 here for the Eagles at the 28-yard line. If we can get 2 stops here, the Vikings have a shot.
Yeah, it'd be huge to hold him or push him back.
I agree, Calvin. This is gonna be the most critical time here for the Vikings. Oh, brother.
Dead ball. Encroachment defense. First down. Hope Academy.
And with this first down, it looks like the Eagles are just gonna knee it out. 55.6 seconds left to go here in the game. 27-26, Eagles lead. That's exactly what they're gonna do. Just gonna run the ball out, knee it out, and that'll be your ball game. So a great showing here for the Vikings. Still, getting ready to, get to the midpoint of the season, as the Vikings will fall to 2-3 on the young season, and the Eagles will improve to 4-1 as they are making a strong push at the start of their season. Timeout for the Vikings. Again, it's gonna be
6.3 seconds left in the game.
it's gonna be a hard week of practice here for the Vikings, as Coach Blackman is definitely gonna pin in on these little mistakes throughout the game, like the incomplete passes on wide open receivers that we just kind of missed, and little things like that. We're not gonna be overrunning our offense, as we did drop down 26 points today on a tough defensive Eagles team. As the Eagles are getting ready to drop down to a knee once again. Definitely a huge game for Trevor Down. Land. Apologize. Down. Land. Trevor Land. Huge game for him as a quarterback. Rushing the ball, throwing the ball, had a 65-yard completion for a touchdown at one point. And I believe he rushed for 2. So, as far as the Eagles go, he was definitely their biggest factor tonight. And the Vikings, you got to look at Nate Thomas. He rushed the ball all over the field. He was a huge factor. Unfortunately, the Vikings aren't going to pull out a win tonight, but hopefully we'll see all of you out at Fenwick next week at 7:30 on Friday, September 28th.
Tune in 2 weeks from now to watch us play Rita. It'll be a huge game. Hopefully we'll pull through and win that one.